Create product. Let's do it. Damn, why I go up? Oh wait, it might have always been that. Look at that. I'm on here now trying to make some new shit for the website. You know what I mean? That's just the website. From my merch line. This is the blank shirt. I ain't really got started yet. You know what I mean? But I got some ideas. What's going on, Christian? What's going on, Bear in the Beach? Homie B. EC Studios. What's up, cuz? Unicorn Baphomet shirt. Ah, shit. Okay. I might have to do that. Right now, I'm working on one. Like, I got all kinds, man. I really like the one that says your doesn't equal your. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I'm about to show y'all some of these designs. Let me pull them up. I sent them to Discord. Bear, you already seen them. Hold up. Yeah, you already, well, I don't know if you've seen these. But they just words. Like, I'm not good with, like, pictures and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm working on it. Hold on, let me show you these. And flip the camera around and shit. Yeah, me. And then I got it in them colors. That's another one. I haven't done these in shirts yet. Because, like, I don't know how people feel about the fonts. Hold up. I got some more shit. I was going to do this one, but I fucked the ear up right here. I might still do it. Like, fuck that ear. But that's the only reason why I hadn't put that on a shirt yet. You know what I mean? But, anywho. Hold up. I low-key want to get these. See, I do too, Bear, you know what I mean? I fucking love Old English, dog. That one right there, like, I just want these shirts for, like, my subscribers, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I couldn't think of a name to call y'all. What's up, Brandon? Brandon, what's up, man? Hey, good looking out, son. I got your message. And I really appreciate you buying some merch. I think you're going to fucking love it, dog. What's up, Spiders and Cowboys? What up, Ryan? What's up, Maya? Maya in this bitch. I'm just showing off some designs that I'm working on. Like, so I got the Dave Murphy call. I haven't put that one on a shirt yet, I don't think. The one that say Jesus fucking Christ. I put that on a coffee mug. Communism, atheism, coffee, and cats. I haven't put that on a shirt yet. Jesus would be denied entry into the United States if he foolishly tried entering it as a refugee. You already know that's facts. What's up, Miss Michael Ann? Demonic, what up, cuz? To answer your question, I'll show you in a second, bro. Like, it's mostly like shirts, hoodies. I got mugs and shit. Like these. Fuck your Jesus. Fuck my life. Fuck capitalism. Oh, no, I was just all over the place. Center. Got a couple centers. Capitalism ruins everything. You know what I mean? Then of course, hold on. Then of course, the your does not equal your. Do better. I really like that one, man. I can't wait to put that on a shirt. And then I got that one, just straight up think, duh, like you know what I mean? Hell yeah, son. Oh wait, I think that's all it is. So y'all getting a sneak peek of the designs I've been working on. Here go the newest ones. Methodological naturalist, because that's what I am. Yeah, that you or don't mean your go hard, bro. I had to. Then I'm gonna need you to do better. Fucking Christians. That's a great one. Maybe you can make a shirt about using proper grammar with some Dade Murphy flair. I mean, that's not a bad idea. I know, right? That your doesn't equal your is my. I love that one. That's the one I used as the fucking thumbnail. This is a red and black version of that. And then here's a red and black version of Heathen. These I haven't put on shirts yet, but I'm about to. You know what I'm saying? And then I got that version of Heathen, that version of Heathen, that version of Heathen. And then I got Heretic. You know what I'm saying? I might have to get that Heathen in Old English. Said a Professor Dave shirt. Hell no. Maybe. Yeah, that's my girl, dog. So now y'all fucking know. I started not to show her to nobody. So y'all can stay out of my fucking business. But that's her. Now you know. Professor Dave's shirt. Oh shit. I'm about to pull up YouTube. What the fuck? Ain't nobody live right now. Only the atheist experience, but they always live. And then I got A Rising Empire and A State of Trends. I'm sure there's some news people live, but I don't watch the news like that. The disturbing story of the original Jesus freaks. Hell nah. Hey, do y'all watch Coop? Y'all subscribe to Coop? You like who? Coop! I know you know who Coop is. I fuck with Coop. He don't know me, but I'm just saying. I'm at a very Christian rehab center. They're going to love the shirts I get. Yeah, bro. You got to get you a excuse me shirt. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I got another shirt. Let me go. You know what I'm saying? You got the day. So you can get an idea. Then it say, excuse me. And then, fuck your God. And then on all my shirts, on the left sleeve, it's got my name. Dade Murphy. So that's how you know it's one of my shits. Same thing with this shirt. You know what I'm saying? At the Dade Murphy on the sleeve. This one I put on a canvas. But this one, this is also a shirt, but the image ain't this big. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of shrank it down some so it's not so fucking massive. But like this one you can get. You know what I mean? two more. Calacia, what's going on? Showing off my merch, at least some of it. Now, this is one of the earlier shirts. So the newer shirts, that picture ain't that big. You know what I'm saying? So on the newer, if you order this right now, it's not, the picture is not gonna be this large. Okay? Like, cause I ordered it to see how it would look. So if you already ordered this shirt, then you got a very limited edition because they will not be this large again. You know what I'm saying? But so there's that one. Cause I just feel weird about wearing a shirt with my face on it that big. But and last but not least, this is my favorite ones right here. This is the one that says, Jesus is a cunt. Y'all probably saw me wearing this one before. And again, on the sleeve. And it's always on the left sleeve, you know what I'm saying, where you'll see my name. And that's how you know it's one of my shirts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, B. So that's how we gonna do that. And again, all my motherfucking shirts, $20. I don't give a fuck what's on it. I don't care how much money the website telling me I'm losing and shit, because I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I just want my people to have my shit. You know what I'm saying? I just want y'all to have some dope ass shit. That's why, like, I've been making a lot of designs that aren't necessarily me and shit. You know, like the Hail Satans, the excuse me's, the fucking fuck Christianity, the fuck your gods, the fuck your Jesus. Like all those shirts, they don't necessarily tie to me. You know what I mean? With the exception being my name on the left sleeve. You know what I'm saying? All t-shirts, $20. All of them. You can go on the website right now. Like, hold on, I'll pull it up for you and shit. You gonna go to my motherfucking webpage. Some of y'all already know. Some of you motherfuckers in here already got y'all a couple of shirts. And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Because like Fourth Wall, where my shop is, they only pay me out once a month. You know what I'm saying? So like on the first of every month, they pay me what I made for that month. You know? So since I've been selling merch, I've only gotten one payment so far. You know what I'm saying? And that would probably be the largest payment because that was when like I first launched this shit and motherfuckers were like, ooh, you know, let me get some shit. And now I just been like making all kinds of shirts, all kind of designs, but they're all pretty much basic. That's why I only charge 20. Like, it ain't much. The shirts are nice, like, you know what I'm saying? But there's not much to them. It's like one picture or like a word, you know what I'm saying? And then of course my logo. Newer shirts, like I started putting like that other logo with the excuse me on it and fuck your God, the circle logo. I got a smaller version of that I put in place of this. So like some of the newer shirts will have that logo here on the sleeve instead of the Dave Murphy. But just saying, they'll all have something there to let you know it's from my line. Some might even have it in the tag, like in this, you know what I'm saying? Like if you get the nice hoodie, the hoodie's like $45. That was like the cheapest I could charge for it. You know what I'm saying? Because someone still has to do the work to print this shit, so, you know, secure the material. Like, you know, they're taking care of all the fucking shipping and the packaging and all that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I get it. They got to get paid somehow. And I set the price in such a way that they're pretty much getting the larger cut. You know what I'm saying? I don't really get much of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you buy a $45 hoodie, like my profit is like $5 or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like because I charge so cheap for it. But I don't give a fuck. I'm not in this shit for the money. I pretty much put it like this. I was born poor, right? And no matter how hard I've worked, I've always had a job. Like always. I've always been employed, you know. And I've always worked hard. My managers have always loved my work ethic because I work hard and I had a good attitude. And I was pretty much outshining other people, depending on what job I was at. But I was always an excellent employee. But that just hadn't gotten me anywhere. You know what I mean? I'm still a working class motherfucker. I'm still poor. I'm still living check to check. Just like y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like this YouTube shit don't give me nothing, son. Nothing. I told y'all they don't pay me because my channel is too dangerous. So I get 0 from Google, 0 for YouTube. You see, I don't have no ads. I don't make videos that are long enough for really ads and shit. So there's no sponsors hitting me up. You know what I'm saying? Because my shit is too fucked up. I be here smoking cigarettes and shit. They like, hell nah. I be on smoking weed and shit. They be like, hell nah. I be on here cussing, saying fuck and bitch and I don't give a fuck and rape and piss. I don't fucking know. I just be saying whatever the fuck I want to say. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of like spewing vitriol at people. You know what I mean? Like calling them pussies and and I wish you would and threatening and challenging people. Like I'm not being like that. I'm just trolling. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I just want people to be more fucking skeptical. Okay? I just want people to think more. All right? Criticize your own deeply held beliefs. Okay? I've been doing it. I'm still doing it. I'm always questioning, like, why do we say that? Why do we do that? What is the reason for this? And is there any justification for its continuation? Or should there some be, or should we put it into this? Or is this just a mindless, pointless thing in which we're engaging? What is you know what I mean? Like, what lies behind the reasons for why we do or say certain things we do or say, And not just like culture wide, but I just mean like in my own fucking personal life, One thing I had to really question was, how do you know that someone cares about something? I'm like, well, what does that look like to you? Like if someone told you they care about, I don't know, fucking, I'm gonna just choose women's rights. Let's just say women's rights. You're someone who like, you purport to care about women's rights. And so when someone asks, like, well, what does that mean? Like, what does it look like for you to care about women's rights? Like, what kind of behavior does that entail? That is what I mean. And I mean, that's something I had to really think about. Like, how do I know I care about something? Or how does anyone discern whether or not someone cares about the thing for which they purport to care? You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's just one thing to just say the shit. It's one thing to just be like, oh yeah, I care about women's rights. I support my troops. Like, it's one thing to just say it, but it's like, but what does that look like in practice? How can someone objectively tell that, yeah, it appears you care about this particular issue? Not just because every time I see you, you're talking about it. I mean, that's somewhat an indicator that you are at least paying attention to the issue to some degree. But to say that you care about it, I'm gonna need to know, what have you done to mitigate the worst of this problem, or to bring about its end? Like, what are you doing? Or at least to bring awareness to the issue. What are you doing? And that's just what I want to know. So it was like, I was thinking, like, how do I know I care about anything? What am I doing to show that I care about something? And I was like, and that was like kind of a hard pill to swallow. Because when I thought about it, I was like, well, if my judgment is based purely on what I'm doing or not doing, well, then the only thing I could honestly say I care about is cleanliness. Because that's the only thing that if someone who doesn't know me were to just like take a peek into my life, just like candid camera or some shit, just to look at what I do day to day, they would see well, let's just assume it's a work day. They were like, oh, okay, he gets up, he does some push-ups, he takes care of the cats, like he cleans the litter box. He's pretty good about sweeping up any debris that may have fallen around the litter boxes. He feeds the cats. He may or may not refill their water bowls, depending on their fill levels. He watches videos on YouTube. Then he gets ready for work. And then he goes to work, and then he comes home from work. And when he comes home from work, he makes the bed. He vacuums the house. You know what I mean? He may or may not fuck with the dishes. The trash may or may not need to be taken out, but it'll at least pay attention to whether or not this is the case. You know what I'm saying? He vacuums more than once a day. You know, I see him, he may clean something random like the windows in the living room or the stove tops just to give him an extra shine. You know, or he may randomly wipe a wall, you know, just like random spot cleaning, like, oh, I see something there, you know, constantly. So I think that the only consistent behavior of mine that would suggest that I care about something is that I care about cleanliness. Like outside of that, it's pretty sporadic. You know what I mean? It's like, it's hit or miss. He may or may not fuck with this particular thing that he says he cares about today, you know. Or I was even like, I'm constantly talking, like I'll interact with my mom through text. Like I don't really talk on the phone. It's not my thing. And me and my mom have completely opposing views because she still thinks Jehovah's Witnesses have the truth. You know what I mean? And I clearly don't. And so when I'm talking to her, it's like I'm failing miserably to convince her of my position, you know, but it is what it is. Okay. She's what, 64 at this point? Yeah. And she's thought this way since I can remember. So, I mean, it is what it is. I got her to make some progress on certain shit, but for the most part, I mean, she was even like, well, if God said that slavery was okay, then so be it. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, I don't know what to do with that. Like, well, I guess we're done. So it doesn't even matter. She's not even going to argue whether or not he was okay with slavery, just even if he did. Oh, well, you know, I'm like, oh my. And you were, okay. I'm not shitting on my mom. I mean, that's deep indoctrination, man. And it's hard to get over it. You know, I'm just glad I was able to just like snap out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It just took a lot of like introspection. Like, how can you prove anything? Why am I just believing this because you motherfuckers say so? But yet, Santa Claus isn't real? Like, isn't this basically just an adult version of Santa Claus? Like this whole Jesus nonsense? And then two, how no Christian ever concerns themselves with the Old Testament outside of referencing certain particular miracles or the stories that we all know, like the Old Testament, you know, or Noah's flood, or fucking, you know, the creation need, the Ten Commandments, you know, God and Moses and the fucking Israelites being fucking led out of Egypt, out of captivity or whatever, even though it wasn't real slavery because these motherfuckers had houses. I mean, otherwise, how could you put blood on your doorstep above, you know, of your door of your house if you're a fucking slave? Slaves don't have their own fucking houses. So pretty much they didn't have it that bad, in my opinion, as slaves when they were in Egypt. But anyway, it's like outside of mentioning all that bullshit, Christians avoid the Old Testament like the plague. No, the plague isn't good enough. The motherfucking Christians avoid the Old Testament like it's the Old Testament, okay? Because there's nothing else that they avoid more than the Old Testament. That's the benchmark. Like, damn, bro, you avoid that shit like it's the Old Testament. And they're like, what? You heard me. Because Christians can't fucking stand it. It's like, man, them motherfuckers stay in the New Testament. Scroll right now to some, just put in hashtag Jesus in YouTube and see what the fuck come up. These motherfuckers, if they in the Bible at all, it's gonna be the New Testament like a motherfucker. They're gonna be in Matthew, they're gonna be in Luke, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna be in John, you know what I mean? They're gonna be all into the Proverbs, maybe even Psalms, you know. Like, but these motherfuckers, you ain't never gonna see them quoting shit from fucking Exodus. I'm not saying you won't, because they might every now and then. But these motherfuckers only know to go to the flowery shit, and it's probably taken out of context. Which is ironic, considering how much Christians love to talk about us taking shit out of context. Like, you motherfuckers don't even understand the context initially. So how you gonna say I'm taking it out of context? You don't understand the context, your dumb ass. The fuck? Christians are something else, bro, I swear. Don't get me started. I already got started. Turn to Christ. Shut your motherfucking ass up before we kick you out of this room, bro. Ain't here for that bullshit. Timmy Gibson in this bitch. What up, Timmy? Now I feel special. I done made it, y'all. Timmy Gibson was like, I'm gonna pop in. Probably because I don't be doing this like that. My live's sporadic than a motherfucker. Timmy B. Dave's fucking merch. Oh, good looking out, Calacia. Oh, yeah, that's what. I totally forgot that's what I was working on. Like, I was showing them these shirts and shit that I had, some of my product lines. The Jesus is a cunt. That's fire. Yeah, I mean, and then of course this one, excuse me. And all my shirts got the Dave Murphy logo on the left sleeve, so you know it's me. This almost life size, like. That's almost life size. That's why I'm like, bro, if you order this shirt now, it's not this big. Like, I had to shrink it, son. So I'm like, bro, this big as fuck. Like, this shit look like it's 2 me's. You can't get this mug, though. This came from the line. It's an Arn Raw mug. Look what it's saying. But how do you know that? That's what it says. You probably can't read it, but that's what it says. I got when they was doing like some special stream on the line, and they were like giving away, or not giving away, but they were offering mugs that they made just for this event so that you would donate money because it was to some sort of charity. So I got the Arn Raw mug. I also have another one that says, look at the trees. And that was a Matt Dillahunty mug. Or at least that was a design that Matt Dillahunty chose for his mug. And that's the one I got. It's like in the fucking cabinet up there. But I also got mugs, you know. Which I'm still working on. Some shit. I like the excuse me one. I like it too. Like, it's that good texture. You know what I'm saying? Listen how that feel. Hold on. One more fucking cigarette, son. Oh, here I go. I feel like Timmy and shit. I got a big ass motherfucking coffee. Está bueno. I agree. What up, Daniel? Repent. Not happening, son. I can't even do it. I'm just too skeptical, dog. I require evidence. Okay. You may not, but I do. And it has to be good and extraordinary. And no, I don't know what that would look like. Okay. How could I differentiate between the act of a God whose existence has not yet been substantiated and say the machinations of some advanced alien race, you know what I mean? Some technology that we just don't yet understand. Or, third option, how do I know we didn't just stumble upon some new undiscovered physics that now we've yet to investigate? Okay. Why would I immediately jump to, oh, this must be the Bible God? Why not Vishnu? Okay. Why, you know what I mean? Why not Allah, motherfucker? Why not? What if the real God, if there were one, how do you know it's not some God we've never even heard of? Maybe it never made its presence known. Okay. There's no books, there's no followers, but it's there. Just saying. Or what if the real God, if there were one, was some God that we eventually discover, but it isn't for like 100 years? There's no reason to presuppose that this part of the timeline is so particularly relevant, you know what I mean, that if we hadn't discerned this God's existence or some God's existence by now, that it's undiscernible. Bullshit! There's plenty of time. Humans ain't been here that fucking long, okay? Literally, dinosaurs have been on Earth longer than we've been here. Them motherfuckers are here for millions upon millions of years. We weren't here that long. Okay. There's still time, is my point. Like, there's still a long ways for our species to evolve and to find out more answers, raising more questions in the process. That's all I'm saying. There's no reason to believe that we should be able to find out all the answers today, you know. Having a coffee and a cigarette as well. Just finished smoking fire. I hear you, Angel. Yo quiero una remera. Demiurge is understandable by no one. The energy that governs all shows us that. The mechanics of the universe themselves are, I didn't read all that, but it's all good. Heaven's just walking around doing what? Right. All hail reptilians. What up, though, Kovo Peter? Does that mean you're from Kosovo? I don't know. I've been to Kosovo, though. I was in, where was I at? I don't even remember the name of it, like, yeah, I don't remember the name of the town, because we was there part of, like, Operation Joint fucking something. I don't fucking remember. It was so long ago. That was, like, 2003? Yeah, because it was, like, right before we got deployed to Iraq. It's like Operation... Oh, that's what it was. Operation. I think it was called Operation Joint Alliance. I'm not 100%, but that was the operation in which we were engaged when we were in Kosovo. It was something about, like, I guess there was a war between the Serbians and I don't fucking know. There was some war, okay, in '99, I guess, you know, and then as a result, we were there on a peacekeeping mission just to make sure that the two former warring sides didn't war again or some shit. Like, so that was the whole point. It was basically a vacation, goddammit. That's how I looked at Kosovo. All we did was chill. Like, kicked it. Of course, you had your guard duties. Of course, you had to, you had your regular job. I was supply, so I still had to, do fucking purchase orders and requests. I still had to do, my fucking job, so outside of just my regular job, it was like, shit, man, we kicked this so much. I did so much extra exercising. I would run 4 miles a day, do 100 push-ups in between the run. Fucking, yeah, Kosovo was so fucking laid back, dude. I think only one dude died when we was in Kosovo, and it was some captain who shot himself. He killed himself. I don't even know what up. The rumor was he had been engaged in something that would have possibly gotten him in trouble. You know what I mean? Not maybe not prison so much, but something that just would have been disgraceful. His wife probably would have left him. So that is speculation. We don't actually know why. At least I don't. Okay, but that was, but for sure that was how he died. I guess he put one in his head. So, but aside from that, I think it was one other death too. But it was some accidental shit. Kosovo was weird, bro. I'm riding in a fucking stick shift pickup truck. It was some kind of Toyota, and I had only had one prior lesson in driving a stick shift, but I did pretty good. I never stalled once. So there's that. But I'm going up fucking these small ass roads, going around mountainside. You looking at the cliff like, oh hell, there ain't no railing or nothing. You could literally just plummet to your fucking death if you just ain't paying attention. Thank fuck we didn't have cell phones then, because we'd have probably been all on them shits, not paying attention. Your dumb ass drive off the fucking cliff. Yeah, fuck that shit. Wait, he was a JW? I sure was, Ryan. My family, mostly my family, are still JWs, you know what I'm saying? My brother's not. Like, he and I pretty much don't fuck with that shit no more. My mom was disfellowshipped, but she still believes what they preach, you know what I mean? My grandma was a Jehovah's Witness. My aunt's a Jehovah's Witness. Now, I got some uncles and shit and some cousins, but they're like regular Christians, you know what I mean? They're like Baptist something, but they live in Springfield. So they're not Jehovah's Witnesses, but yeah, my whole family is some church going motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Or some Kingdom Hall attendees, you know, but yeah, just not me, son. I done read too much, dog. I done read too many science books. I done read some philosophy. Well, I've looked into philosophy. I haven't read any real. I mean, I got a David Hume book, but I haven't read that shit yet. Like, not finished it, because that shit is hard to read. But anywho. But yeah, I've just been exposed to too much to ever fall for that nonsense of any religion. So, you want me to believe a religion, you literally have to give me a lobotomy or some shit. You know what I mean? You'd have to probably change the physical constitution of my fucking brain in order to get me to accept some shit like some dude named Yeshua fucking raised from the dead, technically a day and a half to 2 days later, not really 3, you know what I mean, after he died. Get the fuck out of here. And just motherfuckers were healed of their maladies touching his fucking robe. You gotta be kidding me, okay? But get the fact that grown adults in the Western world in the year 2020 fucking 5 still believe that bullshit. That's why I'm like, were we cooked? I got another shirt that say that. We're fucking cooked. I got a shirt that say that. I had to get it. I had to make that shirt because I'm like, it's so apt to the times. You know what I mean? We're fucking cooked. We're cooked because President Trump is the fucking president. And apparently the Constitution doesn't fucking mean shit to him. You know what I mean? Nor does it mean shit to the fucking... We have one party in this motherfucking country. You know what I mean? You got the Democrats who are not left at all. Okay? They're not the left. The Democrats in Washington pretty much are just decent Republicans from the 80s. You know what I mean? That's really all the fuck they are. You know? And the Republicans are no longer interested in parliamentary politics. These motherfuckers have been dubbed the Republican radical insurgency. Okay? Because they don't operate like your typical political party would, where they sort of respond to the will of the people. They don't give a fuck what the people want. You know what I mean? But neither do the Democrats. I mean, these motherfuckers capitulated to the framing of pick your issue by the Republicans and then wonder why the fuck they lost the election. Dumb fucking asses. Because instead of trying to win actual leftists, you know what I mean, or actual left-wing friendly political, your progressives, your social democrats, your democratic socialists, instead of trying to win their votes, you were like, no. Let's see if we can siphon off some of Trump's votes. Why the fuck would someone who likes the sorts of things that Trump was espousing from 2016 to the present then want to compromise for someone who's only offering it now? You know what I mean? Seeming like Trump was right all along. So why would I vote for you when I could just vote for the guy who seems to have gotten it right since you seem to be capitulating to the way he's framed the issue. Yeah, they're not, essentially, if they want fascism, they're not going to vote for fascism light with your dumbass. And by your dumbass, I'm talking about the Democratic fucking party strategists. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Whose idea was this? And now their big idea is, we need to get a Joe Rogan for the Democrats. We're fucking cooked. Like, they don't fucking get it, man. Like, we're fucking cooked. Like, get the hell out of here. It's not cool to be a Democrat, okay? You look like a fucking cryberry baby snowflake is how they look at it if you consider yourself a Democrat. You're, ooh, bleeding heart, blah, blah, blah. That's how they look at it. And no one wants to be associated with a party that looks like that. It's like the Republicans at this moment look like, even though it's all a facade, and we get it, but to them, they think that, yeah, we're the cool party. We're the ones that are tough. We're the ones that are pushing back against the status quo, even though they firmly represent the status quo, because the status quo is itself bigoted, racist, misogynistic, and Christian-centered. So that is the status quo. They may be horrible, ugly representations of it, and to maybe some extreme degree, but that's still the status quo. Okay. I'm just saying, the status quo is shit. Again. And we need a communist society like yesterday. Straight up, capitalism is trash. Okay. It has killed far more people than any other economic system has. Okay. Like, motherfuckers love to be like, oh, look how many people died under fucking Pol Pot or Stalin or whatever. Like, okay. But they weren't around that long. They weren't in power for as long as the United States has been an imperial superpower. Okay. And as a result, we've killed uncountable numbers of people. Not even for our own safety. Just cause sometimes, ask the people of Laos, the people of Cambodia, the people of Guatemala, where we just indiscriminately killed motherfuckers. They weren't a threat at all. We were just like, fuck it. Bombs are already in the air, so drop them. Fuck it. Fuck them. It's like, because that's what a terrorist nation does. It has no regard for the other countries or for the other people. You're just in the way. And not even really in the way. It was just, yo, we don't see you, like, we should be dropping bombs on. It was like, well, they're already on the plane. Just drop them, dog. You know, and it's like, oh, just kill these people so that we can save on the gas or whatever. Like, this country is the worst, okay? Just straight up. We're inhumane. We are savages, this country, okay? We are violent and unhinged, and that's why Christianity best represents us. Because Christianity is itself violent and unhinged. I was just thinking about this the other day. Was the Unabomber an atheist? Was Timothy McVeigh an atheist? You know what I mean? Were the people who did 9/11, were they atheists? Absolutely not. You know, so I'm like, so look at the prison population right now. How many people in prison are atheists compared to all the Christians locked up in there? Because Christians are violent and unhinged. Motherfuckers are always like, you don't be talking shit about Islam. Islam ain't got no fucking power in the United States. Okay? I don't see brown people in turbans or whatever shooting unarmed black people or taking vigilante justice out on regular ass black folk. Okay? I don't see that. I don't see Muslim women accosting black people just being black in public spaces. But I see Christian women doing that. You know what I mean? There's not a single fucking Christian who reflects at all the example that Jesus allegedly set. Not a single fucking one. Now, if Jesus was like, hey, yo, shoot that motherfucker in the face, then every Christian in America is a true Christian. The more guns you got, the more true you are, I suppose. Turning cheeks. These motherfuckers ain't turning cheeks. Y'all saw that video. These motherfuckers are violent, unhinged. Y'all know about Madalyn Murray O'Hare? Oh, let me look at the comments. See if y'all know about Madalyn Murray O'Hare. What's up, Zakimov? I like that name. Yeah, they do. They sure do. Do you have a favorite stoner movie? I don't have no. I don't really watch movies for real. I don't really watch much of shit except educational shit for the most part. Crispians. But no, Madalyn Murray O'Hare was considered at one time the most hated woman in America. She's almost solely responsible for the reason why we don't have mandated prayer in schools. Because that was what started her off. Like, she found out when her child came home from school that they had to recite a prayer that was being, broadcast over the loudspeakers. So that's a no-go in a country with the first fucking amendment. You know what I mean? And so she had to fight that shit, and she had to go all the way to fucking Supreme Court. And eventually she won. And then she was eventually, later in her life, butchered to death. Her and her motherfucking kids. They found like the head and the hands of her son or daughter somewhere, like, you know what I mean? Like, butchered. Do you think atheists did it, or do you think it was Christians who were angry that she was such a loudmouth, fucking outspoken, domineering, if you will, woman who I guess didn't know her place in society and had to be chopped up by these violent and unhinged Christians? I'm not worried about fucking Muslims at all. Not one bit in this country. Okay, but Christians, on the other hand, shit. Motherfuckers are unhinged. I'd rather be walking late at night and see a group of Muslims come out of a fucking mosque with their faces completely covered. I'd feel completely safe. But let me see that same situation where I'm walking down a dark street in fucking Alabama and a group of Christians just left church. I would probably go back the other way. Like, nope. Because I'd probably have on a shirt similar to this. Not this, but it'd probably be one that says, fuck your God, or one that mocks Jesus, or some shit. And then they would feel compelled by the Holy Spirit to put a 7.62 round in my asshole. After they beat me up, of course. So. Because Christians are violent and unhinged. I'll probably get a shirt that says that. Christians are violent and unhinged. If you watch Deconstruction Zone, Justin be debating these motherfuckers, and he gets them to admit to the wildest shit. The wildest shit. He'll say some shit like, what if God told you to, like, go to an orphanage, get all the babies, kill them all, grind them all into paste, and then pave your driveway with the baby paste so that you can drive over them every single day when you leave your driveway? Would you do it? These motherfuckers, like, either they'll say that God wouldn't tell them to do that, which clearly they don't understand their God, or they'll say, yeah, they'd do it because doing it is the right thing to do. If God told me to do it, the right thing to do is what God told me to do. And if God told me to do it, I'd do it. It's like, these motherfuckers are unhinged. That's why I'm like, yeah, you motherfuckers need to be locked up, okay? This belief system is ridiculous, okay? And it's dangerous. Because like Voltaire said, if I can get you to believe absurdities, I can get you to commit atrocities. Such as willing to go along with the plan devised by God, that being to take babies from an orphanage, grind them all up in a fucking meat grinder, and then pave your driveway in the baby paste. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? First of all, why did he even come up with that scenario? Of all the scenarios, he could have been like, God, what if God told you to do it? It's like, Justin is unhinged. You know what I'm saying? But that was a good question though. And these motherfuckers still like, yeah, that's the right thing to do. Unhinged. And these motherfuckers live like next door to you, across the street. In the opposing trailer. Dave's fucking merch. I appreciate that. AR in this bitch. Yeah, man, divine command there. That's why I be telling y'all, man, Christians don't have morality. They don't have any morals. While they're always talking about where do atheists get their morals from? Where do you ground your morality in? Bitch, at least I got morality. You don't have any morality, you amoral cunt. Okay? Because your only edict is to do whatever the fuck God says. Okay? That's it. So if he tells you to kill your fucking son, you better fucking do it. Christians can't ever say anything. If you say, hey, do you think this is wrong? Do you think it's wrong to just murder people? Do you think rape is wrong? Do you think abortion is murder? No matter what it is, ask him anything. The only response that they can give is, I don't know. Did God command it? Otherwise, I can't have an opinion on the matter. Okay? Because I don't know what good is. I don't know what bad is. I don't know what wrong or evil is. All I know is, did God say do it? And if he did, then by definition, it is good. And if he didn't, then I don't know. So, and that's what makes them unhinged. They could never say something like killing babies and having them ground up in a meat grinder and then paving your driveway in the baby paste is a bad thing to do. They could never say that. Their only response is, did God say do it? That's it. That's all they got. You motherfuckers have no fucking morals. They want to know, where do I ground my morality in? Simple. Empathy. My morality is grounded in empathy. Okay? Mine is like the negative version of the golden rule, whereas I don't do to others what I don't want them to do to me. Okay? Which I think is a little bit better than do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Because they may not do unto you, even if you do unto them. You know what I mean? So it's better to just not do to them what you don't want them to do. Look, I ain't fucking with you, don't fuck with me. You know, I think that's the better. You know. Or the platinum rule. Do unto others as they want you to do unto them. Okay? So maybe what you want to do unto them, no matter how charitable you may think it is, may still be something they wish you didn't do. You know what I mean? So then you would have to ask, well, like, how can I, you know? And then they'll tell you, this is how. Oh, okay. Well, then that's how I'll do it. You know, because that's better. You know, I posted this question as a poll, like some months ago on this channel. And most people chose, and I think it's just because maybe it was the first answer, and there's good evidence out there to suggest that most people just choose the first answer, depending on, you know, anywho. So, yeah, but the majority of people chose the first answer, which was do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. Because I asked it like this. I was like, which is the better of the rules? Like, which is the better rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which is the one they chose overwhelmingly, or do unto others as others would have you do unto them. So, like, treat them the way they want to be treated, essentially. You feel like they should be treated, but the way they want to be treated. I think that's better. Okay? That way you're not presupposing, like you know what's best for them, or you know what they want, or, you know what I mean? Like, no, ask them, you know, how can I show my love to you, or my appreciation, or my whatever, my support? Like, how can I do it for you? You know, like, oh, well, hey, there's a number of ways. Or you could do this, you know, I'll do that. You know, how can I make it up to you? You know, if you've wronged them, not just, I'm going to do this and that should take care of it. It may or may not take care of it. But a better way is to just ask them, how can I reconcile things with you? You know, oh, well, you could start by this. Okay, then I'll do that. Like that's better. That's superior to do unto others as you have others do unto you. Fuck that. I mean, if you ain't got nothing else to go off of, I guess do that. But I just think it's better to do unto others as others would have you do unto them. You know, or just at the very least, don't do unto others as you wouldn't have others do unto you. You know what I mean? So if you don't want motherfuckers meddling in whether in your you don't want other outsiders meddling in your medicinal affairs, your hospital, you know what I'm saying, ongoings, then don't meddle in theirs. This shit's between me and my doctor. Why the fuck do you care at all? You know, I'm not coming in between you and your doctor. Okay, with your boner pills, you flaccid fuck. Okay, so stay out of mine. All right, it's as simple as that. Just saying. I'm watching the Atheist Experience. Till then, everyone in here, take care and hail Satan. All right, demonic man, thanks for stopping in, son. Christian says, Toy cocinando de amigo. I agree, brother. Every day, everybody should have a private life, dude. I mean, I don't disagree. Mary Jane in the bitch. What's going on, Mary Jane? For the longest, I have a promo code that I can give away to someone. But the promo code is for this shirt, the Excuse Me shirt with the Dave Murphy logo on the sleeve. And it's a promo shirt just to get the shirt for free. You know what I mean? I think you still probably have to pay like shipping or whatever, but the $20 for the shirt is free. I'm just trying to think of a way to give that code away to someone. But how it works is, if I give that code away, essentially I have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I have to cover the $20, which, whatever. I don't give a shit, So, but I haven't thought of a way to, like, give that out to someone, Because I only have one code to give. Now I can create another code, but I'm trying to wait until I come up with a really dope shirt that I'm, like, really super proud of. Like, I'm really proud of all the ones I've created so far, But as I continue to do this and think more creatively, I think I'll come up with something later on that just like I'd be so proud of that I'd want to give it away to someone to just have, minus the shipping. But I'm just saying. Te amo. Hey, well, te amo as well. Autograph it for us. Oh, y'all definitely, you know what I'm saying? What up, Thomas? I didn't see what you said. All I saw was the skull. You really don't mean that, do you? I really don't mean what? I love all you guys. I love humanity. You know what I mean? I don't like all aspects of humanity, but I love humanity. I love humans. I want humans to be able to flourish, thrive, so on and so forth, live their best lives. From me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck. As long as you're not hurting someone else, I don't give a fuck at all what you do or with whom you do it, as long as it's consensual. But too many people aren't like that. Too many people feel like, nah, dog, you need to not be gay and getting married. You need to not be having abortions. Like, shut the fuck up, okay? In my experience, most of the people who rally against those things are guilty of doing it themselves. Okay, some of the biggest Republicans, we're gay this, gay that, whatever they rally, whatever they bitch the most about, that's probably the thing they're doing. Okay, or they're probably guilty of it more than anyone else. I wish YouTube would monetize you. Your content is not harmful. I think it is, man. You know why? Because the moral authority in this country is ridiculous. There's no moral authority here. Okay, no one has the moral leg up in this country. We are on stolen land, okay? And we're only rich, the richest, most powerful nation, given how given that we stole people to do all the work for free, and then we use our accumulated wealth and influence to exploit other nations for their resources at their expense, of course, Yeah, so it's not like, so all of our gains are ill-gotten. Okay. All of it. Literally all of it. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Hell nah. How about that? I totally understand, bro. Thanks, Tycoon Tony. Socialism or capitalism? Well, that's an easy one. Communism. Okay. Socialism is like, the way I look at it, socialism is the process by which we transform from a capitalistic society to a communistic society. And we're not totally there until every aspect of society has been socialized. Then you can say we now have a more communistic society. We won't even need a government at that point. Not the way that at least like Marx and Lenin had articulated, like, not perhaps, you know what I mean? But basically all that means is every single industry in which exploitation occurs is done away with, where there's no more exploitation of man by man, no more of this gross exploitation of the land by man. You know what I mean? It's like, because we've just been, and to be fair, or to be, a lot of the people who are in the positions to make the decisions to make the country and the world even a safer place already know how destructive our policies have been. They are already aware. They have all the data. However, and information that's come out, I'm going to just say recently, meaning like within the last 40 years, they've known this and just decided, essentially, paraphrasing here, we know we're going off a cliff with climate change, so why not just step on the gas? As opposed to, let's hit the brakes, let's claw back some of this bullshit we've been doing and make some real smart decisions here. No. They were like, no. Profit is in the short term, okay? And I don't want to take a chance on some long-term shit. I need my profit today, okay? So, that said, fuck the planet, okay? Fuck all these EPA and environmental regulations. Fuck all that. I don't give a fuck, okay? I need a fourth yacht. So, make it happen. And the sad thing is, our most existential problem with which we should be dealing yesterday is climate change. Because without a planet on which we can exist, there's no sense in attacking or trying to tackle any of the other social issues. Like, there's no sense in worrying about immigrants or gay rights or women's or LGBTQ or the First Amendment or like none of that. There's no sense in worrying about none of that if we don't have a planet to do it on. You know what I mean? I mean, the planet will be all right, but the conditions will be such that we can't exist on it, given the rate of things. You know what I mean? And evolution don't work that motherfucking fast. You know what I'm saying? That we can adapt to it so quickly. At least that's not what it has shown historically, that it doesn't work that way. Now, it kind of works that way with fruit flies. I'm just saying, like, for something like us, it's not going to happen that fast. I just don't see that being the case. But natural selection is a fickle motherfucker. So who knows? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. But nonetheless, assuming we won't, then we should probably do something about this fucking planet. Okay? But the powers that be, I hate saying that because it sounds so conspiratorial, but it technically is. I mean, all the participating members of the establishment are well aware. So technically it is a conspiracy because they're all in on it, They're all in on capitalism and profits. Everything else be damned. Literally everything else, okay? So they're aware of this. They just don't give a shit to do anything about it. They don't want to do anything about it. They'll purport to care about it, some of those who do, and I'm only talking about the establishment here. They will purport to care about it, but then they'll put it on you. You have the onus to make a change. You should start recycling. You should start composting. When the fact of the matter is, if every human being and every fucking cow stopped farting or whatever, it would have a minuscule effect on the change. You know why? Let's put this in perspective. I think it's like over 70. Like, let's just a conservative 70, just an even 70. 70% of the global emissions are coming from these big corporations. So that means all other forms of these greenhouse effects that, you know what I'm saying, that we're generating from all other forms are only equal 30%, let's say. You know, that means the lion's share of the pollution is coming from big industry. So until they do anything, not a fucking thing you or I do, we could be the poster children of green energy or whatever, and it wouldn't do shit. Wouldn't have fuck all of an effect accumulatively because we're not the biggest contributors to the problem. The biggest contributors are the industries, okay? I mean, we're creating literal whole islands of garbage. Literal islands of garbage. You got certain countries, populations, where the trash is such that they're able to build an entire industry just on the trash that floats their way. They making shit out of the trash, you know what I'm saying? Giving it like second and third uses. Making art and shit, infrastructure, like they doing all kind of shit. They got a whole infrastructure set up to deal with this trash that comes from the richer countries, which just forces them to have to live like that. Like that has to be their economy, where it's garbage from the richer and more careless nations. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I mean, this country is a fucking shit show, dog. A shit show. We kill indiscriminately. We take what we want from wherever we want, and then still got the nerve to play victim. Like we just need to build up this arsenal. It's like, that's why they say, like, capitalism creates the conditions that will bring about its own demise. It just does it. Like, I mean, look at it now. If all you care about is profit, then you don't give a fuck to chop down the rainforest. You don't give a fuck how much the earth itself and all the various ecosystems, us included, depend on what the Amazon provides for the world. But as you as a wealthy capitalist, you're like, all I see is dollars. All I see is a bunch of wood that I could chop down to use for whatever. I see beachside properties. I see, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a capitalist, you don't give a fuck about that shit. You don't give a fuck that we need it as a planet. If the resource is there, I'm taking it if I make $1. Humanity be damned. Okay, that's why capitalism is the absolute worst. It is the absolute worst because the capitalism doesn't give a fuck about fucking shit. Okay, it cares about profit. Profit's not even a literal thing. It's a concept. This profit. You know what I mean? Like this. Even if it is a literal thing, like even if you want to say so, but it's not the same objective thing, you know what I mean, across every industry where profit could be made, you know what I mean? Like that's ridiculous. It's just this ability to like come out on top financially after an investment that means more than the life of this child or the future of the planet or humanity or anything. Like nothing else matters in a capitalist, especially one that's in a post-capitalist state like our country. Okay, a neoliberal capitalist state that is now fascist. It has already been an oligarchic plutocracy for the longest, but now it's becoming a fucking fascist state. If it's not already a fascist state, okay, we don't have to do fucking Hitler shit, but we're allowing Hitler shit to happen. We're funding Hitler shit to happen. Netanyahu is the modern day Hitler. And what he is doing to the Palestinians is unconscionable and is equal, in essence, to what Hitler did. Okay? And we're just, here's some more money. Here's some more bombs. Here. Because we don't give a fuck. Honeywell, okay, Northrop Grumman, okay, needs to get contracts, okay, because they got money to make. So just point us in the direction of the war. No war, you say? Well, make one up. I don't know, but look, we didn't build all these guns for nothing. Okay, so give us a reason to use them. Hurry up. How to get stones to listen. Hold a J and don't light it. I know, right? Agreed. I feel you, Rafe. Just saying, bro. I'm as woke as it gets. Okay? I'm not annoying about it like fucking, the social justice warriors of the, like the 2010s or whatever. I'm not like that. Clearly, I don't have blue hair. I don't have no piercings and shit. So I ain't that motherfucker, but I'm as woke as it fucking gets. Okay? Proud. You know what? I'm gonna make another shirt that says that. Woke. Woke as fuck, Because I am. I'm not gonna let the right wing usurp the meaning of the word. Okay? Because we came up with that shit. We're the ones who gave it its initial meaning, just meaning that you are aware of systemic oppression and the different ways in which it manifests within our culture and society. That's all. You know what I'm saying? But now it's just whatever the right wing doesn't like. It's woke, it's Marxist, just meaning they don't know what these terms mean. And they expect you not to know. And chances are you don't with your dumb ass. So they're just able to get it off. And by you, I'm not meaning you guys. I just mean you, the American public, me included, Because they lying to me too. It's just, I know I'm being lied to. They don't. I know when Chuck Schumer opens his mouth, he's a piece of shit. I know Nancy Pelosi is a bitch. And I hate that hoe. Cunt. I don't want to slut shame her. But yeah, fuck that bitch. Okay? I'm at least aware that these motherfuckers are full of shit. Okay? But I'm equally aware that the right wing, every single one of those sons of bitches, first of all, don't give a fuck about the country. The Constitution, they wipe their ass with the Constitution. They don't give a fuck. You don't have any rights here. Okay? You only have rights insofar as they don't interfere with what they're trying to do. Because as soon as they do, well, your rights are chopped liver. Okay? Just ask that to any citizen right now who is being deported or disappeared or jailed for no reason, with their rights being completely violated. They don't give a fuck about your rights, especially if you're brown. You can forget it, okay? You having rights as an American citizen who is not a capitalist, meaning you have capital, meaning you have money or assets that are generating money for you, then this country ain't for you, okay? They're not helping you out. You're part of the problem, actually. Either you come and work for us, you work for some capitalist, or you're nothing to us, okay? Because to capitalists, your peasant ass is only as good, your value, your worth, is only as good as how much profit you can generate for them. Otherwise, you can fuck right the hell off. You know what I mean? Your life is irrelevant. Your life only has value insofar as it's generating profit from me, okay? As soon as you're not doing that, I literally could care less. I could not care less. Fuck you, fuck your old age, fuck your disability, fuck your children. I don't care. You're not generating me profit. You're irrelevant. Okay? In fact, we might have to just extinguish you if you make too much of a noise about how we're not paying you fairly. Peasants want to be paid fair. Fuck out of here. This is a capitalist country. You get paid the peanuts, not even peanuts, crumbs of peanuts. You will accept that and you'll shut the fuck up. That's how it is here. Just like the Christian God. He's like, no, you will love me. How you gonna tell a motherfucker to love you? You, look here. You will love me, you understand? With all your heart and soul. And your neighbor is yourself. I don't hear you loving me, motherfucker. Country is a shit show. Why don't you leave? You hate it here so bad, why don't you leave? Because I'm broke, bitch. And I don't have a passport, so I'm kind of stuck. And I'm not making enough money to do it because I got a regular ass job. I work in manufacturing. I make $19 an hour, you know, and that's not enough. That ain't enough. You know what I mean? That ain't enough to fucking, nah, son. That's not enough for the passport. That's not enough for the plane ticket, the one-way plane ticket. You know. And then, like, whatever, however much I'm going to need to get set up once I do fucking make it to Switzerland or some fucking shit. I don't know. I wouldn't mind moving to, like, Austria. I was trying to look up, like, countries that have, like, free healthcare. It's not a whole lot of countries that do, because, like, even if it is free healthcare, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best, you know. I'm just saying. And by free, I don't mean like it don't cost no one. I just mean like at the point of service, expected to pay anything. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to send you a bill mail like, hey, remember that surgery we did? Ante up, son. It's like, what the fuck? I didn't ask to break my leg. What the hell? Y'all was like, yo, we're going to have to do this surgery. What'd you expect me to say? Like, well, hold on. Let me call around a few other hospitals, see what their prices are for leg surgery and anesthesia and so on and so forth. No, you're going to be like, all right, yeah, that's what's required. And then they're going to send your motherfucking ass a bill, bitch. Assuming you don't have insurance. And even if you do. I don't have insurance. Okay, I'm your typical American. You know what I mean? I joined the military. I got out honorably. I went and fought in a foreign war. I've always had a job. I work hard. I have a manufacturing job now. You know what I mean? Making parts that are, we make restaurant parts, for industry. And so, and when I say I make them, like we make them, like we create this shit. We fashion this shit in our warehouse. And so that's what I do. And, I got some college under my belt, but I don't have a degree. You know what I mean? I don't even have a high school diploma. I have a GED, but that's only because I was expelled 2 weeks before graduation for some bullshit. But we didn't even press the issue. Number one, we couldn't afford a lawyer. But also, I'd already signed up for the military at this point. So my mom was just like, fuck it. You're going to the military anyway, so. Yeah, so I'm just a regular fucking dude. I've never been to jail, never been to prison. Obviously, never been to jail, I've had run-in with the police, but that was mostly in my 20s and younger. I haven't really had any interactions with the police since I've been in my 30s and up, I just fucking go to work, I exercise, I try to keep my spot clean wherever I'm at. Literally wherever I'm at. If I'm in my car is clean. If I'm at home, my home. If I'm at work, my work area is clean. Like, that's just what I am. That's just who I am. That's how I operate. I need structure. I need cleanliness and order. I need all of that, With a little randomness thrown in there. Everything can't be structured. Where's the fun in that? Fuck the military. I'm with you, Idris. Fuck the military. Not fuck the people who are in it because they didn't know, Like when I was in, I didn't fucking know. Shit. Now I know. So, yeah, I threw all the awards I got in the military. It wasn't that many, but still, whatever awards they gave me, I threw it all away. Fuck it. Cause I was just like, I was no longer proud of my service. While I was in, I was so fucking proud. Like I just thought this was the best thing I had ever done as an American. But then after the fact, once I learned more about America, once I learned what our real purpose was for being in Iraq, and then putting that in the context of my friends dying, and what it'll be like when I get home, and what kind of country am I fighting for, or did I fight for? You know, it's like, what the fuck's going on here? Like, once I woke up and saw what was really happening, shit changed. Shit changed. But yeah, man. But I didn't. But basically, my point is, I didn't fucking know. At the time, I'm just believing whatever the State Department tells us. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the colonel says we need to do, we're doing. You know, and I'm just assuming it's whatever you're all telling us it is. I don't know that there's some other thing going on here. I was fucking dumb. I was like 20 years old. You know. Sean, I am a little bit. And not so much just in my experience with life. Like, I mean, I'd rather have this experience. I'd rather be beaten down by life than to not be living it. You know what I mean? So I'm fine with that. You know, I'll take the terrible with the good. You know, I'll take the awesome with the mundane. I'll take it all, you know, because I get to be alive. So that's the way I look at things now. So I don't let little things bother me as much anymore, if at all. You know, someone cuts me off, or someone doesn't use their turn signal, and that would have really helped out if I could have known you was turning, you know, like all that type of shit. Like, or if someone cuts me in line, like someone cut me in line the other day at the fucking gas station. I didn't give a fuck. You know, I'm just like, it's not a big deal. Like, I don't care. Like, we get to be alive, man. You know what I mean? You could be dead right now, and just nothing's happening. You're not aware of anything because you're fucking dead. You know, we get to be alive and aware. You know, and so I fuck it. Like, I'm not worried about this little shit. Motherfucker Christians be hitting me up like, why you so mad, bro, if this shit ain't real? I'm like, I'm not mad. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, believe whatever the fuck you want. Just stay out of my business. You know. But Christians can't do that. They literally have to get in your business. So yeah, you know. So I'm forced to do this. But yeah, it's like, because I'm tired of seeing, like, this is supposed to be a secular country. Freedom for and from religion, or of and from, you know, and it's like, but yet there's like a fucking Christian church, like there's like 5 just on this street, like just on this block, my dude, you know, just like 5, like, god damn, like how many, who are y'all trying to convince? Like, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? It's just ridiculous. It's like, that's just not, what the fuck, you know? And then considering if you wanted to say open a church of Satan, like, yo, I'm a demon worshiper, and I would like to have a church of demon worshipers, you know? We're the demonic cult of Satan, you know, or whatever. You know how hard it would get, you know what I mean? It would be to get that tax exempt status as an actual religion. Like, I mean, you could do it, but it'd just be hard to do, you know? That's why the Satanic Temple is now considered a religion. They finally were able to get that tax exempt status, you know, so that they can be recognized as an actual religion. And even though they don't believe in a God, they don't believe in a devil, you know, the Satanic Temple don't believe in that bullshit, you know. That's why I was a member for a little while there, you know, for like a couple of years, I was a member of the Satanic Temple. I still agree with the tenets of the Satanic Temple. You know what I mean? All that shit. It's sort of like, I agree with Matt Dillahunty when he talks about the Satanic Temple, because he agrees with their work too. He just thinks that the name is problematic because you're constantly having to defend that you don't believe in the devil, and that because there's a story behind it. It's basically like the devil represented this in the story. He told the truth. He questioned power, you know, whatever. And it's like, that's all we're doing. You know, as atheists, we're challenging authority. We're questioning illegitimate authority. We're challenging the powers that be, you know, and so on and so forth. And women should have their rights are inviolable, and so on and so forth. And it's like, yeah, all that. But then they have to keep saying that, like, but we don't actually believe in the devil. We just use him as that a representation of that which we stand for, which is challenging illegitimate authority, and so on and so forth, you know, while doing no harm to others, you know. But you can't say that with Christianity. You can't say do no harm to others. Bullshit. Eye for an eye, right? Cheek for a cheek, or whatever the fuck it is. Tooth for a tooth. All that bullshit. At least in the Old Testament. Then you get to the New Testament, and Jesus changing the laws and shit. And it's like, that's why his dumbass got crucified. Because you ain't supposed to amend the law. Okay. Remember when he was like, you know how it says, thou shalt not do this or commit adultery, well, I'm saying to you, if you even look at a bitch like that, you've already committed adultery. Like, that wasn't part of the original law. You're adding some shit. The law says not to do that. And that's why your dumbass got dealt with. You know what I mean? And was not the Messiah, because the Messiah would have known better to say some shit like that. So. I still can't believe they condone slavery. Yeah, dog. It is what it is. Like, they never brought up those verses when I was a Jehovah's Witness. I never heard of Exodus 21, Leviticus 25, Titus 2, 9 and 10, Colossians 3, 22, 1 Peter 2, 18. You know, I never heard those verses. Deuteronomy 20, 10 through 20. You know, and if they did, they spun it like it was a good thing. Like God killing all the people in Sodom and Gomorrah, babies included. Like, what the fuck did the babies do? What did the animals do? What the fuck? You know, because God doesn't give a fuck. You're like, man, fuck all of you. I created you. I can kill you. And that's what most Christians say. They're like, well, he created us. He can do whatever he wants. Well, doing whatever you want doesn't make you moral, does it? It makes you a monster if you don't know how to rein in your tendencies to do whatever it is you want. If whatever it is you want is drowning the whole earth, genociding the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Jebusites and the Hittites and all the other ites out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cool with all that? Like, so you like, yeah, man, slave them motherfuckers. Just don't eat pork. Okay? Yes, own people. You can beat them to within an inch of their life as long as they don't die on the first day. Okay? But, like, don't wear mixed fabrics. Okay? Just don't do that. Who the fuck asked you anything? What you sniffing? You know what I smell like? This Lucifer. What up, Louie? What you say? Oh, you looking at all that ash I dropped on the floor. It was an accident. I'm gonna get it up. Where Daddy B? And Rosie. And Petunia. Well, fuck you, nigga. You don't want to pay attention. Egotistical thief and a liar. Fuck yeah. Daniel Cardet said, what's up? And yet cats like Batcat exist. And here you are. You ain't picking cards or nothing. Just here looking around. What's your favorite bands? Ah, shit. Louis, do you mind? Larcenia Row, Wretched Tongues, hold on, let me look at the playlist, bro. I'll be running out of names and shit. Disembodied Tyrant, that's definitely one. Monochromatic Black, that's definitely one. Face Yourself, that's definitely one. The Ramones, Slayer, even though I know they're not a band anymore, but still, just like the Ramones. Yeah, I like all the hard shit, bro. Like, hold on, let me go to my like playlist and shit, cause I got all kind of shit, son. Excuse me. So like Silosis, these motherfuckers is hard, bro. Like I fuck with Silosis. This band is dope as shit. That's why you see I got like a couple of their songs like lined up. But See, I got that Slayer shit. Timmy and the Beats. Hold on, who's that? Wretched Tongues, yeah. White Zombie back in the day for sure. These bands right here, Catastrophic Hemorrhage, Septic Abomination. I was listening to that shit earlier. That shit go hard. Hold on, let me. Hey, stop doing that. Can't hear shit. Hold up. Oh wait, hold on. I think I muted the video. That's what it was. Shit. Fuck yeah, bro. You ain't about to get me in trouble though. I'm gonna turn this shit off. Oh, that's what's up, Daniel. Hell yeah, Luke's. I also like Lorna Shore, Infant Annihilator. I used to like Pig Destroyer, but I don't know, I'm kind of over them right now. Like right now, I've just been on Larcenia Row. Like I can't get enough of them. Axty, AXTY, Axty. I fuck with them hard. Oh my god, I fuck with them hard. I used to fuck with Alpha Wolf. I just ain't like a whole lot of their newer shit. But Alpha 6, it's another one. Alpha 6 go hard. Again, I haven't seen like a large body of work from them, but the shit out is fire. You know. Sentinels, fucking Darko, fucking Angel Maker, Veil of Maya. Veil of Maya's alright. Landmarks. Fucking. Man, there's so many bands, bro. Like, I don't know where to begin for real, for real. Like, I like so many, you know. Cause I was trying to go to my like list. I still didn't get to it. Like, I went straight to subscriptions with my dumb ass. Oh wait, no, I did go to like. Oh yeah. Spirit Box, Sleep Token, Marilyn Manson, of course. Shit, I've been listening to this Loathe, Synesthesia, Psycho Frame, Filth, Peeling Flesh, Cockophile. You know, all the horror shit, son. You know what I mean? 200 stab wounds. 200 stab wounds, son. Hell yeah. Tool, yeah, I fuck with Tool, bro. Yeah, I fuck with Tool. I'm trying to think of my favorite Tool song. My favorite Maynard song actually is when he would A Perfect Circle, you know what I'm saying? Like that first album, fire. Like I like Judith. What is it called? Suicidal numbers, thinking about it. Put it on the fault line. What'll it take to get through to you, precious? Over this, why you want to throw it away like this? Such a mess. Why would I want to watch you? I can't think of the name of this song. Disconnect and self-destruct, one bullet at a time. Fuck, I can't think of the name of it. The Outsider, yeah, that's it. Y'all was like, yeah, I know it. You got me on here singing and shit. I don't know how to sing, obviously. Yo. Yeah, man. Yeah, The Outsider, The Outsider. That's one of my favorite songs, like, period, is The Outsider. And Judith. I'm like, I love those two songs. Like, Judith is just. There's another one on that album, too, that. Like, I can't get enough. Like, I ain't listened to it in a few days, but, like, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot I love this song, you know. But I love, that's a strong word. I really like Coldplay, and I don't care who knows. Yeah, what's going on? BXXD. 3 Libras is awesome too. I haven't heard that one. Ing Forest Day. Nah. I also got Nirvana on here and shit. Like, man, bruh. This shit right here. I'm fat forward. That shit hard as fuck, man. Like I tell you, the Larcenia Row is the shit. I can't get enough of them, man. Fuck. That was Nose Torque. But I also got Unhinged. That's like, oh, God, man. Every song they put out is fire, bro. Lip Split, Calcium Closet, Lullaby, Carolina Crowd Killer, Nose Torque. All them shits is fire. Man, they don't even know how to put out some whack shit. Like, all of that shit is fire, Seth. Larcenia Row beat. Hold on. Larcenia Row. They made horror metal. You see, they only got 9,500 subscribers and 20 videos. And all 20 are fire. Okay. That shit is fire, son. Straight fire. No, we shouldn't, but let's click on it.
Knowledge. I was accused of being a know-it-all, even though I don't. And that's hyperbole and a pejorative. And it's a way to kind of get some...
I don't play drums.
...knows a topic better than you to take him down a peg without actually having to know the topic better.
I don't play any instrument for real. I used to play the piano, but not anymore. Like, I ain't played piano in so long. Look at my dude right here. Papa Meat got a new video out. What?
Welcome back to the Public top of me channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on, sit down because today we're going to talk about women. I love women. Like I like the new merch that we have. Look at this. You know why I love women? Because
Merch better than mine.
remember this? Got the nice Book of Evil, Book of Smut.
I bet it don't cost $20 though.
Thorn of whatever and fucking condolence.
Is that right? Is that right, Death? Yeah, they are a fairly new band, bro. Like, I watched them get interviewed, I think, on this, is it Dave Garza? I can't never remember his first name, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he played bass, I think, for Suicide Silence, but he got his own podcast, and he had him on there. I think it was his podcast, but I know I seen him recently on somebody's podcast, and they was like, yeah, they don't have that many. Like, they kind of knew, you know, but man, but everything they put out is fire. Like, I don't know what they're doing that's so, but that was one of the questions they were asked. Like, what are y'all doing that's like so unique that like everybody's just like clamoring for y'all's music and just like, they're like, I don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I don't know what y'all doing either, but that shit is fire and keep it up. Like, every fucking song by Larcenia Rowe is fucking S tier, goated ass shit, son. Straight up. Like, I could play their shit all day and never tire of it. Like, it's so fucking fire. But I feel almost like that about Wretched Tongues. Wretched Tongues is sick. Like, fuck. It was Wretched Tongues before Larcenia Rowe came along. Then I'm like, okay, now I can't decide, you know, which one of these two is one of my favorite, you know. Because right now it's like, it's I feel like it's between Wretched Tongues and Larcenia Rowe. You know. But Paleface in there too, you know. I fuck with Paleface. I fuck with, like I said, Monochromatic Black. That's one of my other favorites because it's a female lead singer. And I like to try to support female lead singers in metal. You know, that's why I like Courtney LaPlante, you know what I'm saying, from Spirit Box, formerly of I Wrestled a Bear Once, which is, I feel like when she was in I Wrestled a Bear Once, she was way harder. Like, that's why I fuck with that band, you know what I'm saying? The Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. That's another dope band. So if you ain't never heard of them, check them out. Again, it's the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. That's a weird ass name for a band, but I love it. You know what I'm saying? Christian. Only girls deserve to sing punk music. They got better attitude than men. Well, I heard that girls started punk, so that would make sense, actually. Courtney Thick, bro, don't get me started, okay? But I'm gonna just say I completely agree. And we're gonna move on. But yeah, I agree. That is an accurate assessment. Okay. El Gatito. I love Cradle of Filth. I mean, I like Cradle of Filth. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, they've been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to, like, Metallica used to be my favorite band for years, you know. Like, Metallica, Slipknot, and Cannibal Corpse. That was my 3 favorite bands for, like, 10 years or some shit. You know what I'm saying? And then it was, like, Suicide Silence until Mitch died. Then after Mitch, I'm cool. Like, I'm just being, I mean, they got, like, a couple songs that they put out that I fuck with, but overall, it's like, after Mitch died, it's like, good. I want to fuck with As I Lay Dying, but I think it's over for them if it ain't been over. Throne, fucking, Throne is in, like, I like that band too. Alt, I don't know if you know about Alt. ALLT. Like, Alt's pretty dope. You know. Nah, son. I don't really watch movies. I read books. You know what I mean? Speaking of, I got a couple I'm working on now, but This one I'm only on like chapter 2. Richard Dawkins, The Greatest Show on Earth. Because it's so fucking thick, you know what I mean? And I'm only right there. So I still got a ways to go. And simultaneously, I'm reading this. Breaking the Spell by Daniel Dennett. And I'm only about halfway through. Like, I'm about right there. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. What you know about that? This is another good one, The Hiddenness Argument. I already read this book, though. I'm going to read this. Reflection on the nature of God and the reasoning to which it gives rise, therefore, may only reinforce the initial impression of plausibility that comes with the main premise of the hiddenness argument. Is there any way at all in which it might still swiftly be rejected by conscientious investigators? Perhaps someone will suggest that God could be perfectly loving without perpetual openness to relationship if what it is for God to be loving is very different from what it is for us to be loving. Why should we think that ultimate love would be at all like our love? The short answer is that it had better be, okay? Since otherwise, we have no business using that word to refer to it. So essentially, he's making the point that you can't say like God is all loving, but somehow that looks different from what we understand love to be. Because if it is different from what we understand love to be, then you got to call it something else. Can't call it love, okay? Because love would not genocide. Love would not command slavery. Okay, so if this is what your God's doing and he's loving, well then loving is not how you're describing that activity, that behavior is antithetical to what we consider love to represent. A somewhat longer one will separate out a way in which the suggestion here is onto something, while showing that this is quite compatible with the concept of love being the very same in the two cases. It is on to something when it is taken as suggestion that how love would be experienced or expressed by a God, or how it would extend, may well exceed our understanding. What it would feel like, to put it crudely, to be God-loving, and more generally, what would happen in God, this might indeed be very different from what we find in any finite human case. But what it means to be loving is determined by facts about human language, which link it to giving and sharing and relationship. The concept of love is our concept. There's no escaping this, even in the very phrasing of the suggestion to which I'm responding. For either when one speaks of what it is for God to be loving, one is referring to our concept of love or not. And if so, then of course what I've said applies. If not, then why should we regard the suggestion relevant to our discussion? In that case, who knows what someone who makes that suggestion is talking about? Here, our distinction between theism and ultimism can be helpful. Without the framework concept of ultimism, and more generally, without the investigative impulse of the philosopher, which it's intended to assist, it would be easy for our understanding of theism to fade off into absolute mystery, and for theists themselves to take refuge in that region inordinately often during religious discussion. But recognizing that ultimism defines the religious conceptual outer limit, as it were, and that theism adds something to this, we can ask, what does it add? The answer, it's natural for philosophers to give, who are used to theism as the claim that there is an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-good, and all-loving creator universe, is that it adds personal content. That is, theists think of the ultimate reality as a divine person. Theirs, as we have seen, is a personal ultimism. The concept of personhood therefore defines what theists bring to the table in philosophy. And this concept is one we have to understand by extrapolation from what we say about ourselves and other beings, for example, in science fiction, as persons. It is in relation to such things that it arose and acquired its distinctive character. In particular, personhood centrally involves such things as consciousness and agency, which is a capacity to act. Having seen all this, we see exactly what we're talking about when we address the truth of theism in philosophy, and our investigative agenda is clear. Our job is to see whether this way of filling out the idea of ultimism makes sense and is true. No doubt, there may be many things about an ultimate person that we couldn't understand. Its way of being a person may be very different from our own. But it would be odd to shrink from the implications of what we do understand about people, for example, what it is for persons to love other persons, when our aim is given by inquiry to determine whether personal ultimism is true. If there actually being a loving personal ultimate seems strongly to have implications that are not realized in the world, then it would be better, certainly from the standpoint of investigation, to set aside the personal interpretation of ultimism and move on to some other. Now, perhaps some critics will be inclined to resist the main premise of the hiddenness argument because of a prior commitment to a religious scripture or creed incompatible with it or in tension with it. Isn't the God of the Bible, for example, often portrayed as somewhat distant relationally? But I suspect you'll be able to see how such a move falls short. Notice, first of all, that its source is loyalty to preconceived views instead of a burning desire to know what's true here, no matter what. The reason for resistance is not investigation-based. Second, and more important, the pictures of the Bible are framed by people with the same sort of loyalty, okay, who assume that a person like God actually exists and are trying to understand and submit to his ways. It's not surprising that religious conceptions from the Bible are so often in sync with facts in the world that trouble philosophers, when they are designed to be so. A more sensitive and appropriate suggestion here might be that whatever their source or motivation, biblical or creedal depictions of God could contain insights, and we should look to see whether they do. I agree, we should. But the vital question is this: can we find in these depictions insights about relational matters, including the impulses of love, that run counter to the hiddenness argument's main premise? What one finds is a good bit of patriarchal material with God as a king or father whose loving behavior alternates with wrathful displays. I don't see a convincing or insightful depiction of the greatest possible person in this material. And material that's more impressive, even against the background of all that we humans have learned about social and gender relations and about the immaturity of violence, actually supports the hiddenness argument's main premise, coming out strongly in favor of sharing and giving and reliable openness. Consider, for example, the relevant teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. I suggest, therefore, that one is grasping at straws if one seeks, on such grounds as those mentioned here, to resist the main premise of the hiddenness argument. That was it for chapter 4. Chapter 5, add insight and stir. You're probably like, I didn't get it. I don't even know what the first premise is in the hiddenness argument. I know. Let me back up. Trying to find what the first premise was. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on, because this isn't, it's just describing terms here. Like, what is ultimism? What is, So, why so late to the show? I'm probably giving the impression, yeah. This argument, I believe, is our original. In this chapter, I'm going to do this. Oh my God. He's still defining terms. Hold on. Evil. We know what evil is. Evolution. We know what evolution is. Okay. The main premise. Okay. Oh my God. He's talking about a story about when he grew up. Oh, okay. Here we are. Jesus, fuck. The main premise of the openness of the hiddenness argument. Let me just read what it says. The hiddenness argument's main premise, stated without analytical fretting or frills, and with the aim of maximum intuitive force, is this. If a perfectly loving God exists, then there exists a God who is always open to a personal relationship with any finite person. That is the initial first premise of the hiddenness argument. That if a perfectly loving God exists, then there exists a God who is always open to a personal relationship with any finite person. That is the first premise of the hiddenness argument. Now, there's other, obviously, he's got more premises, because pretty much the whole damn book is just it's a fleshed out argument for God's hiddenness, or for the hiddenness argument. Like, he's making a fleshed out hiddenness argument case, for why that is a solid reason to suggest that this particular God doesn't exist. It's a good book, man. It's called The Hiddenness Argument, Philosophy's New Challenge to Believe in God by J.L. Schellenberg. So, I'd recommend it. I've already read this book once. Like, I finished it on April 6th, apparently. And it's only, 122 pages? So it's not a heavy commitment. You know what I mean? Because then, like, most of this back here is like appendix and shit, and no one reads that. So, yeah, it's the hiddenness argument looks like that. It's a sick book. That's why I got it, because I was like, I like how it's black with that, like, ombre looking effect right there. Shit. So, and you can get it. I got it from bookshop.org. I literally get every single book I have from there. Okay, I'm lying. Because before I found out about bookshop.org, I was getting my books from Books A Million or Books and Company, some shit like that. Barnes and Noble, whatever. But I only got like 2 or 3 books from them. You know what I mean? And they were books that are sort of like irrelevant. Like, one of them was What the Fuck? And it's basically a history of cuss words and like all that type of shit. And then another one was Fire and Fury, about the first 4 years of Trump's presidency or whatever, or the first 100 days. I don't fucking remember, but Fire and Fury. So I got that book. And then I think I got a James Baldwin book from there. Like, I think, what was it? The Fire Next Time? I think I got The Fire Next Time from there. And I got, because I didn't get that many. Oh, and an Angela Davis book, Freedom is a Constant Struggle. Oh, and also Policing the Black Man. I forget who that's by. Yeah, I got that from there. No, because I also got like a couple Ta-Nehisi Coates books from there. We Were 8 Years in Power, and fuck, Between the World and Me, I think it's called. Yeah, but then after those books, then I found out about bookshop.org, which donates books or whatever. So I thought that was dope. So I start so since I found them out, I've gotten every all the rest of my books from there. I've only gotten like maybe like 80 something books. Maybe just 80 books. Okay. And like 75, we'll say, of them came from bookshop.org. So I recommend bookshop.org. I think it's a good place to get books. And also, because like Books and Company and like Books a Million, fucking, what's that other one I just mentioned? Barnes and Noble. They're right-wing companies, okay? And you can tell not only by the selection that they offer in their brick and mortar locations, but also just by the books that they present to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can go into Books a Million right now and see like a Ben Shapiro book on the front, you know, or some shit. You know what I mean? But like, try to find like some Angela Davis books. Try to find some Noam Chomsky. Try to find some Norman Finkelstein. Like, it's hard to find. Try to find some Howard Zinn. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find their books. But Bookshop, no problem. They got all that shit. You can find all the Lenin you want, all the Marx, all the Trotsky. You know what I mean? All you want. In stock like a motherfucker. Not at Books a Million. You almost can't even get that shit at their website. Like, they just like, nah, son. We got a book by Bill O'Reilly. Oh, with that shit. They'll proudly promote like Michelle Obama's books and all that shit. Like, yeah, because all you establishment sons of bitches, sure, they'll promote y'all's books, but let it be a dissenter. You know, like Noam Chomsky. I'm not saying you can't find a Noam Chomsky book in their stores, but they're hard to find. Okay. And their selection is pathetic. All right, you might find 1 to 2 books by Noam Chomsky in that bitch. Same thing with like Angela Davis. You're not going to find too many books by her. You're not going to find too many books by James Baldwin. Like, they don't, you know. But they do a bookshop. Bookshop.org got all this shit. All this shit. One thing I do find hard to find at bookshop.org are study Bibles. Because I'm trying to get that new Oxford study Bible, like I think they're on like the 5th edition now or some shit. Trying to get that. They want like, I ain't trying to pay that much for a study Bible, but Justin vouches for it. And that's why I want to get it so bad. Because I want to just refine my shitting on Christian skills. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God, I've invested so much money into biblical exegesis than any Christian I know. Like, and this their faith. Like, I'm only investing my time and energy into it just to argue your stupid ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, why I gotta go do the shit? Why I gotta go do intellectual legwork while you just get to sit there in your fucking credulity accepting the dumbest of nonsense? You know what I'm saying? But my ass gotta go out. I gotta go find information from like NOAA, you know, the National Ocean and Oceanic. I don't fucking know what NOAA stands for, something like that. But it's like, I gotta go and read reports and shit just to refute the fact, or refute your assertion that Noah's flood actually happened. I gotta go and find all this research and evidence that has been compiled. I gotta read that shit and compare that shit while you just get to sit here and believe this stupid ass story. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair. But as a result, we atheists end up being just naturally more intelligent than the motherfuckers. I'm not saying than every Christian, and not every atheist is intellectually, you know, curious. You know what I'm saying? Or has any real intellectual endeavors. You know, no real, you know what I mean? Like, not every atheist does this. Like, I'm just one of the few that I know personally in my own life who do, you know, where I'm constantly researching shit. I'm constantly reading these fucking books. I shouldn't even know who Bart Ehrman is. Why do I know who he is? You know, and yet I've already read like 7 of his books, some of them multiple times, you know, just to argue Christians what their own belief system says. Because they don't even be knowing half the time. I got to tell you what your shit say. What the fuck? You know. But I got to do it. Because their beliefs are harmful. Because Christians as a result of Christianity. I'm just playing because Christians are violent and unhinged. So somebody got to like crusade against these motherfuckers. Get them to wake up. If I could just get one Christian at a time to like, just look into the verses I'm sending you. Okay? You say you have a moral center. Well, then, if slavery is wrong, why are you worshiping a God who said slavery is A-okay? As long as it's from the heathens of the nations around you, do not enslave your fellow Israelites, okay? In fact, if they even try to sell themselves to you as a slave, you are not to treat them as such. And you gotta let them go after a certain amount of time, and you can't treat them harshly. But if you enslave one of those heathens from the nations that's around you, you can beat them into their life. Okay? As long as they get up after a few days. Everything's good, dog. That's your money. Fuck it. That God is a monster. Fortunately, there's no evidence that would suggest that son of a bitch exists. Or his criminal ass son. You know what I'm saying? Coming up stirring shit. I look at Jesus as like, yeah, I believe he existed. I also believe David Koresh existed. And Jim Jones existed. These motherfuckers aren't remarkable. Okay? I believe he was just an earlier first century Palestinian version of Jim Jones. Like this motherfucker coming along thinking he's special. Oh, you want to amend the laws and shit. He either didn't know some of the shit in the Old Testament because he couldn't read that shit. And if that was the case, then he wasn't fucking Messiah. You ain't no God, motherfucker. Like, you didn't know what the Old Testament said. You misquoting David and shit, misquoting scriptures and shit. Jesus was either lying or he just didn't understand what he was reading. Okay? I'm just saying, like, he wasn't nobody. There was nothing remarkable about that man. I just think he was a first century charlatan. You know what I'm saying? Trickster. But yeah, sure, he lived. I don't give a fuck about that. A lot of motherfuckers who thought they were special have lived. Okay? A lot of motherfuckers. I was just watching a video earlier today about all the Jesuses in history. All the different people who have claimed to be Jesus reincarnated or the second coming of Christ. There was even women, Chinese people, all kind of motherfuckers thinking they Jesus. Or was somehow sent by Jesus. Like, these motherfuckers come and go. And these people believe them. You got motherfuckers out there following them and shit. Big, large followings. You know what I'm saying? Who believe that shit. Because you idiots are fucking dumb. You know what I mean? Y'all just believe anything. Just credulous is all get out. You know? And for those who don't know, when I say you're credulous, that just means you are willing to accept some shit without really any scrutiny. Without any real investigation, interrogation. A motherfucker tell you some shit and you're just like, yeah, that checks out. A dude walked on water, came back alive after a couple of days. People got healed of their maladies simply by touching his cloth. Yeah, that all checks out. I've never seen any example of any of this happen in history, ever. But yeah, sure, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a credulous motherfucker. You know, an incredulous motherfucker would be just the opposite, but for the same stupid reasons. Like, you can't believe that we evolved from us and the monkeys and, well, apes you see today, other apes, all evolved from a common ancestor who was neither human nor ape, but was an ancestor to us both. And you're just like, I can't wrap my head around that, so it can't be true. You're just incredulous. We have all this evidence that pretty much proves that evolution happened and is happening. And you just can't understand it because, you know, you're just an ignorant dum-dum. And therefore, you're just like, nah, it's not likely to be true. And it's like, that's incredulity. You're just refusing to accept evidence that are pretty much conclusive towards a particular proposition. You know what I mean? And you're just like, nah, dog. It's like, bro, the sky is blue. Look. And you're like, bro, I disagree. That's just incredulous. Like, you just refuse to accept, you know, because you just can't wrap your mind around it. You just can't understand that. Like, it just makes no sense to you. So it's probably wrong. It's like, no, you're just probably dumb. It's not your fault, not necessarily. America is actively trying to make the populace dumb as fuck. You know what I mean? Because the dumber you are, the easier you are to control with your dumb ass. So that's why I refuse. They even want to vilify, demonize wokeness. Like, so what's the alternative? Being asleep? Is that what you want me to do? Like, people don't even question this shit. It's like, really? So then the opposite of woke is asleep. Is that what you want? Is that the preferred position? To be asleep? I'm just eyes closed. You know. No, motherfucker, you want to be woke. Pay attention. Keep up. You know. But they don't want you to do that. They don't want you to know nothing. That's why they're like, woke, bad. Colleges, universities, that's demons. That's where they learn to turn away from God. Don't go to college. It's like, yeah, anything where you might learn some shit, they're like, stay away from that. It's like, yeah, fuck that. That's why college is expensive now. They don't want everybody to have access to it because you might actually learn some shit. That's why they're attacking the college campuses now. That's why there's so much of their focus is on shutting down protests and shit, because that's where motherfuckers learn shit and feel emboldened to express their differing opinions on the college campuses. And largely because you can do all this shit without like paying for it or whatever. Like you can, amass a crowd and all that. And because you go there, y'all allowed to be in groups on your college campus, And that's why it's so prevalent there. But they trying to crack that down on that. Like, motherfucker, it's my First Amendment right to protest. Fuck you mean? Like, but nope. They let motherfuckers who run over protesters in their cars off because atheism, I guess. The fuck? You know these motherfuckers are Christians. You know this. How many people participated in an insurrection? Not all the people. I'm not talking about everyone who went to jail for January 6th for simply just being there. I'm talking about motherfuckers who knew what they was there to do. You came here to do this shit. It was part of the plan to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? I bet those were Christians. You're supposed to be turning the other cheek. You're not supposed to be questioning the authority. You are supposed to acquiesce to whatever the laws are of the nation of which you are in which you inhabit, of which you are a citizen. It's like, yeah, the Bible's pretty much all about don't question authority. You are to know your place and shut the fuck up. You are to be peaceful and not to cause a ruckus. You're not to return evil with evil, at least not with Jesus, you ain't. That's why motherfuckers said, like, nah, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if they're robbing you, motherfucker. Give them whatever they want, offer them more shit. Okay? If they punch you, give them the other cheek to punch. You know what I'm saying? He's like, don't fight back. He's like, it's better to die. It's better to die than to fight back and break the law of loving your neighbor, because fighting him off is not loving him. Okay? I know it's hard because you know what? The alleged love of Jesus, this Calvary quality love, right, is a nonsensical love. It is a non-commonsensical kind of love. It's a radical kingdom quality kind of love that doesn't make sense to kingdom of the world people. Okay, kingdom of the world people are like, no, I need to protect my physical self and my family from this intruder who means to do us harm, And Jesus is like, that's not love. I don't give a fuck if they do come in here to murder and kill and rape everyone in your family. You better find some loving your neighbor way to fight them off, because violence isn't the answer. I'm sorry. You're just going to have to die. You will have been a martyr for the cause of Jesus. It's a hard pill to swallow. I got all this from a book that I read by a Christian called The Myth of a Christian Nation. It's a good book. And he's basically like, yeah. And that's why after reading this book, I'm like, yeah, I don't know a single Christian. I don't know a single fucking one. None of them will do any of this shit. He even admitted he probably wouldn't do it. He was like, hey, I fully admit that if I'm in that circumstance, I'll probably do what anyone reading this would do. I'm pulling out the gat. I'm gonna probably protect my family using violence if necessary. It's like, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm just saying this is what Jesus would do. Okay? This is what he expects of us. And I know that that doesn't make sense. Like, it seems like, why would you let me put my family in danger? It's like, you got to trust in the Lord. That's what faith is. Like, you got to have faith. Your faith don't seem very strong if you feel like you need to commit violence and break you're the only second of two commands you were given to love your heavenly Father with all your love and all your might and all your whatever the fuck, and love your neighbor as yourself. Okay, and this guy is your neighbor, so just saying. The guy who wrote the book was like, yeah, I get it. It don't make sense. Like, not from our context, but you're looking at things from the kingdom of the world perspective, is what he says. You have to look at things from the kingdom of God perspective. Okay. And most Christians don't do that. I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna venture to say, all Christians in America don't do that. Nah, they're too busy because it's counterintuitive to our naturally evolved instinct to survive. Okay. And you're telling me to not do that so that I can still obey the edicts of a God whose existence has not yet been substantiated. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm gonna try to stay alive. I'm gonna protect my family, and I will use violence if I must. In fact, it'll probably just be an instinctual initial reaction to use violence, not an afterthought. Okay? I'm just being honest. And every other Christian would too. Unless they're just, their fight or flight response is the flight, or freeze. So, could be that. Just saying, depends on the circumstances. But yeah, so. My family's in heaven. There's no heaven. I don't know what to tell you. Why love my mother and father who gave birth to death? What? I don't get that at all. How you decide which books to read? That's a good question. Usually it's through the content that I'm consuming. You know what I mean? Like when I was watching The Line a lot, and I still watch The Line, but pretty much I was just following Matt Dillahunty. So wherever he was at, I was watching it. You know what I'm saying? And some of the books that he recommended, or the books that I ended up getting, one of them was 50 Reasons People Give for Believing in a God by Guy P. Harrison, a book I've read 5 times. And some of his other guests, some of their guest hosts that'll come on the show, will be authors who have written books. And so I'll do that, Or I'll get a book, So say, for instance, I'll get the Guy P. Harrison book, the 50 Reasons People Give for Believing in a God. Well, then like the index or the appendix or whatever, it'll have like a list of their sources for some of the shit that they said in the book. And I'll go and get those sources. You know what I mean? So it'll be like, oh, I got this in page 8 from this book by this author. So then I'll go and, or I'll just type in that author's name to see like what other books they've written, like what kind of shit that they write about. And I'll just get those books. That's usually how I get a lot of the books. There'll be source material for books I've already read. You know what I mean? And I'll go get the source material books, and read those. Now that's some of them. Then but I've also read like just PDF documents that you have to like download and shit that certain people wrote. If it was just like a study or some guy's opinion on some body of work that he already put out or some shit so there's just different shit or if in the book they said some of the data that they've cited they got from say a particular study, well then I'll go and try to see if I can find that study to see what did the study say, what were its other findings, what was its method, what was the methodology behind the study and all that shit. So I'll do shit like that. But yeah, so essentially that's how I come up with the books. Sometimes they'll be recommended by the content creators I watch. Like for instance, Second Thought. I watch a lot of Second Thought videos. I've practically seen all the videos on Second Thought's channel, but because Second Thought is a socialist who advocates for like socialism, communism, and on his channel he made a whole video based off of this book called The United States of Walmart or some shit like that, where basically the book is making the case for how the American economy should be run more like how Walmart runs its entire operation, because it's incredibly effective. You know what I mean? Like just the way Walmart as a this behemoth operation, the way its relationships are with its different partners, so that everything's sort of operates so perfect, like just in real time, and you can make real time adjustments, and so that to control loss and waste and all kinds of shit. It's just like it's very effective. And he's just like, what if we were to scale that up to the size of the entire U.S. economy? Taking our cues from, because that's essentially what you would call an organized economy. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm using the right word. A planned economy. That's what I meant. That's what I'm talking about. A planned economy. And so, yeah. So it's just, so because he made that whole video based off of that book, well, I was like, well, now I need to get that book. So I've read that book like twice. That was a little harder to read because like there was a lot of like economic language in there, but it's not terribly unapproachable. But it's a little wordy, Not as wordy as Gaza by Norman Finkelstein. Holy shit. I read a lot of books by some wordy motherfuckers. Like, just meaning that there's a high proliferation of an academic language. That motherfucker was using words I had never heard. Like, bro, what the actual fuck? Words you can't even tell what they mean in context. Like, because I'm pretty good at telling what a word means just by the way it was used. But that was not helping with this dude. It was almost like he was purposely trying to find the most convoluted, the most obscure word that he could, synonym for a word. And be like, oh, but no one heard that one. Let's use that. And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? And it's like, man, it was so many times I had to like underline the word and then go and Google that shit later and shit. And then Google it and then come back and then write in the margins what that word mean and shit. So the next time I read it, I'm like, oh, right. It's like, man, he was like the only person I had to do that with. Like, and I read a lot of people. But it was like, bro, what the actual fuck? This is so hard to read. Like, the only thing harder to read is shit that was written in like the 1800s or earlier. You know what I mean? Like the Communist Manifesto, the first 2 times I read it was a little difficult. Shit by David Hume, that shit is hard. Like, bruh, I don't. When I read the Malleus Maleficarum, what the fuck? Like the language in there too was like, what the fuck? I'm just saying, like, reading shit from like them ancient like words we don't, like what the fuck does that word mean? Like that's the only thing that's comparable in difficulty as far as reading it is concerned. Like you got Gaza by Norman Finkelstein, which is incredibly difficult to read just because of his academic language. And then you got that other shit. So I'm just like, bruh. But yeah, but in doing so and reading these books, it's not only an opportunity to expand your knowledge, just generally, maybe just on the subjects, but also on your vocabulary. It's a win-win. You know what I mean? As long as you're willing to, like, as long as you can retain the words and their meanings, and then find a way to incorporate them regularly in your day-to-day verbiage. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it's what are you learning them for? Like, I hate to sound pretentious or whatever when I'm around people and I use words that I feel like they're thinking I'm trying to use, and they're probably right. Sometimes I do deliberately try to use some more academic level words, but I do that so that with enough usage, it'll just come off like second nature. It won't seem like I'm trying to use it. It'll just be like people will just assume this is just a word you normally use, you know. But you got to get started. Like once you learn the word, start using them. You know what I'm saying? Like sure, you may feel awkward or might even or don't even hide it. Like just straight up be like, you know what? Like when you come across an opportunity to use one of them words where normally you would say this, but since you know this word, you're like, you know what? I just learned this word. I'm going to use it here, you know? And it's like, just make it known that like, yeah, I'm using a big word I just learned, you know? So it's not weird. But yeah, like you could do that. Like just make it obvious. Like, yeah, I've learned a big word, whatever, and I'm going to use it. Okay. You know, otherwise, why learn them? You know what I mean? Like, what's the point in fucking learning these words? You ain't going to use them. So find a way to use them. Who cares if they think you're being pretentious or whatever? Who gives a shit? They're just mad because they don't understand what word you're saying. They don't know how to spell it. They don't know what its meaning is. And I love that shit. I've always been like a word dude. You know, when I was a kid, I used to just read the dictionary. I'm not about to sit here and tell you I wrote the whole dictionary. No, I didn't. I just would read it in my spare time casually, like it was just a comic book or something. I just read words. And then when I was in the army, I had a lot of downtime, especially like when you're out in the field and like there's nothing going on, but there's not a whole lot of else to do. Like this is before we had smartphones. So like there was none of that going on in the tents. So you was like reading or playing cards or listening to music or watching shit on your fucking portable DVD player or just kicking it with the fellas or whatever. But I would sometimes by myself, like I drew a lot of pictures. Like I got a lot of drawings still. I got drawings that I drew in like 2003. I got pictures I've drawn that are 22 fucking years old. I still got that shit. I'm surprised I still have them. I honestly, like they've lasted this long. But anyway, so I got some drawings. So I would draw or I would write lyrics later on. Like, so when we was in Iraq, when we had a lot of downtime, we wrote a lot of rap songs and recorded them. But I don't even think you can find those songs anywhere online, even though I think my dude posted them. But this is back when like MySpace was a thing. And some of the shit got posted to MySpace. I might be able to find like one song that I recorded when I was in Iraq that might be on MySpace. If I find it, I'll share it with you guys. But because it was like 2 songs that I did. I had done more than that, but the dude who recorded the songs, they were technically his. Like, even though we rapping on it, he was the one that was like, it was his equipment and all that shit. So it was his songs, I guess you could say. But anyway, he ended up uploading them to my MySpace account because I gave him the fucking login or whatever. And then like years later, I ended up seeing like, oh shit, still there? What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hell nah. But I didn't have a way to like save it to my computer or no shit. But anyway, if I find it, I'll upload it and show y'all like me rapping and shit. It's not a video. Like you're not going to see me. It's just my voice. Like, and because, you know, but anyway, I hope I find it because I'm kind of excited now to like let y'all hear that shit. But yeah, so I had a lot of downtime. And one of the other things I would do is just, I would look up words, but I wouldn't look up like large academic words. I would look up small words because I felt like, because I asked myself, like, I bet if I asked you, what does the mean? Like, most people couldn't tell me what it meant without saying the. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like you know, and they just couldn't do it, you know? So I'm like, well, I wonder how many other words, like it, or, if, is, that, you know, like you, me. Like, what do these words mean? Like, and then I would flip it. So like, once I would memorize the definitions to these words. And at the time, it was the Oxford English Dictionary, like 11th it was the Oxford Collegiate Dictionary, 11th edition. And so I'd memorize all these like basic ass words, only to find out most people did not know what the fuck these words were when I was defining them. Like I would give them the definition, and then you had to tell me what word am I defining. And most of the time they couldn't do it. By the way, the definition of the word the is a function word that indicates that a noun or noun equivalent is definite or has been previously specified by context or by circumstance. At least that was the Oxford Collegiate Dictionary 11th edition's definition of the word, the. And I memorized it clearly because I just spouted that shit off, you know what I mean? But yeah, a function word used to indicate that a noun or noun equivalent is definite or has been previously specified by context or circumstance. And when I would say that, no one knew the word was the. Like no one. Like I think that's a fun game. You could probably do that right now. Go to somebody and be like, hey, I'm gonna give you the definition. You tell me what word I'm defining, okay? And they'll be like, all right. I'm like, it's not a big word, I promise. I'm like, all right. I'm like, all right, yeah. So this is a function word used to indicate that a noun or noun equivalent is definite or has been previously specified by context or circumstance. They're gonna look at you like, what the fuck? And they're not gonna get it. They're not gonna get that the word is the. You know what I'm saying? Another one is kind of easy. This is the one that when I would ask, I would give them the definition, like 2 out of 5 people would get it. You know what I mean? Which is pretty good actually. But so 2 out of 5. So the other one was, what is the word? I'm gonna give you the definition. Just the first couple of words in the definition pretty much give away what the word is. But anyway, so here's the definition. The measured or measurable period during which an action exists or continues. Tell me what you think that word is. The measured or measurable period during which an action exists or continues. No, but you're getting close, Pete. No. It is not and. Think about it. The measured or measurable period during which an action exists or continues. No. Yes. Time. Time is the answer. I'm like, see, I knew you would eventually get it. I'm like, it's kind of easy. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. A measured or measurable period during which something happens. Time? You know, it's like, yeah, most people get that one. But y'all was on the right track. I like how y'all, you know. I'll give you another easy one only because it just is. It's just by nature easy. Here's another one. A function is in the definition word. The definition is small. A function word indicating alternative. That is. This is another easy one though. A function word indicating an alternative. No guesses? That was kind of easy. Correct. 33 got it right. Yeah, Sean got it right. It's or. I told you that was an easy one. Pete, I feel like you would have got it, Pete. What's up, your tribal chief, Tyler? He said, roll up. You right. Excuse me. I roll up. I don't even roll up anymore. I stuff. The raw cones. King size, son. The long joints. It come with this little. They tell you to go like this. You know what I mean? Like they want you to like bend it and then put the weed in it. And then go in there. I don't ever use that for that. I don't need it. I want to put on some music so bad, but I ain't trying to get my shit shut down. I'll put on some royalty-free music. How about that? How about like Mozart and Bach and all that shit? That shit's royalty-free, son. But I'm gonna do it from that one dude who be playing the piano. Not Niruma. Not him. Cause all you see is his hands and like the notes. And the notes be like in lights and shit. I don't know why I can't think of his name. I'm just putting classical music. Hold on. Piano music. Let's just do that. Why I can't find my dude? Oh, there you go. That ain't him. This ain't him. He'll do though. Whatever. Oh, it's a brother man. Man, you gotta use the bong. I got a bong, but my like you know the part that like go in the thing, like not the long part, but like the part that like at the top, I broke it. And I haven't replaced it yet. So. I got some fucking like some crumble of some kind, you know what I'm saying? What are the only things you believe in? That which we can substantiate empirically. That's what I believe in. Nah, bro, I'm a methodological naturalist. I'm also a secular humanist. So there's that. My worldview is grounded in the scientific method, in philosophy and logic. Okay. My morality is grounded in empathy. You know what I mean? So yeah, no God is needed for my worldview. No gods, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, demons, devils, and angels, none of that. I mean, to be honest though, like I'm kind of glad low-key that there's no gods. Cause we ain't got time to be trying to. But it will be kind of cool if ghosts were real. Like I'd love to go to a haunted house. Like as long as they ain't gonna like kill me and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to like inhabit my body and shit. But y'all just want to be out here and shit, just doing ghost shit. That'd be kind of fucking cool. Like I wouldn't have nothing. Like I'm not against this shit. It's just I'm against believing things for which there's no evidence. That's what I'm against. It's not necessarily the concept itself that I'm against. Although it could be the concept itself. Like, I'm not on board with the concept of a God. Now, the God could prove me wrong. They could be like, nah, bro, you'll totally love it if I was real. I'd be like, how so? I'd be like, I'd be like this. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I would like a God then. But none of the gods I've ever heard of. But man, if ghosts could be real, that'd be kind of dope. All right. I like to meet a ghost. I like to see a ghost do some shit. Do some ghost shit, bro. Go through the wall. You know what I'm saying? Don't go through me, bro. But like, go through the wall. Like, I want to see that shit. Then I want to see like, how does a ghost do anything? Like, how can you do shit? Like, if you're a ghost, you're incorporeal. You're not made of matter and atoms. You know what I'm saying? So like, how can you interact with the material world if you don't have any of that shit with which to interact? I'm about to see if I can find that music, bro. I went by the infamous sleep, so that's what I'm gonna type in. It's hard to do with one hand. The infamous sleep. It's not looking good. Let me just put it in a regular search, like in Google, and just try it that way. Because it might have to take me to like MySpace or some shit to find it. Let me see. The infamous sleep. No, Petunia. No, not that. Like, I don't even remember the name of the song that I did. Like, hold on, let me put the infamous sleep MySpace. Let me see what comes up. No. Okay, hold on, let me try the infamous sleep MySpace music. View all. Come on. Man, this shit gotta exist somewhere out here, bro. And I definitely went by the infamous sleep. But I'm sorry, I can't think of the name of the song I did. I think it was called fuck. Like for a while there, I still had my lyrics. I might still have them actually. Like all the songs that I wrote back when I was in the army still. I might still have them shit. I almost want to go to MySpace just to like see if I could just type in the infamous sleep and see if anything come up. Since I can't think of the name of the song. I want to say the infamous sleep. I'm going to say Murder One and see what happens. Nope. Let's see. From the Shy. Let's see if I can find my homeboy song. Because they had recorded this dope ass stuff. From the Shy to the A. To the A. I'm sorry, bro. Like, I don't think any of that music is accessible. Like it's almost impossible to find. I almost want to like see if I can find the Wayback Machine and see if I can find it on there. Because that is going way back. Like that's 19 years ago that song would have been posted. Like, free Diddy, you out the motherfucking chain, bruh. Hey, don't come in here saying that shit, bruh. Fuck Diddy and fuck you. Stop licking the wall, goddammit. Why are you always doing that? Petunia, no. Stop. Petunia, no. Get off the wall. God, you're so weird. Do your cats lick the walls? Like they getting high from that shit? Had a little stick at it. Hold on. I'll just use my cigarette butt. Use the cigarette butt to tap that shit in there. It's shit like this the reason why they won't let me monetize my shit. Because I'll be like doing this shit. And they be like, bro, that's harmful. Like, how so? And it was like, you can monetize your channel as long as you cut out all the videos that got this shit in it. I'm like, oh, then I guess we're not monetizing then, because I'm not doing none of that. I feel like, why I feel like internet censorship is worse than like the FCC. Like, you don't hear the news people being like, gotta censor themselves, can't say pedophile, can't say rape, can't say sex, can't say, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can say all them shits on the news though. Like, but if you making content on YouTube, if you say any of those words, they'll demonetize your shit. Like, they won't shadow ban you or whatever, but like, they'll demonetize you. Like, you won't be able to monetize that video because you said this word, you said sex, you said rape, you said incest or whatever the fuck, you said pedophile, you said Hitler, you said murder, you said kill. Like, and it's like, these are just fucking words. What the fuck? Like, there's more censorship on the fucking internet than in goddamn the TV. Like, we can say all them words on TV, you know what I'm saying? Like, but on the internet, like, all these content creators, like, the grape and PDF files and mustache man, or it's like, or unalive themselves. We got to come up with all these stupid fucking workarounds for regular words. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, bruh, like, this censorship is out of control. Like, out of control, son. Can't say shit online. I'm not saying you should be able to say just any old fucking thing. I'm like, come on now, but like, I can't just say death? What? I can't say if someone is a pedophile, even if they admit to such, that I can't just say the word? Like, they're like, that's why this video probably gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying all this wild shit, doing this shit. They're like, nigga, you will never get a penny from us. Like, you are not advertiser friendly with your dumbass. I'm like, yeah, but I'm not here for the money. I would have accepted it if you would have gave it to me. Like, if they could offer me the money right now, I'll take it. I'm not shutting up though. Like, if you're gonna give me the money, just I hope you see my content, because that's more of the same. Like, I'm not changing shit for $1. Like, this money already part of the fucking problem. I mean, it's part of it, but it's not the problem. Capitalism is the problem. Money is just a part of it, you know. But yeah, man, I ain't got time for that. Money ain't every fucking thing, you know. I'd rather have this community of motherfuckers, and maybe I could just like travel around and come meet some of y'all, and we can smoke, you know, hang out, because that's what life's all about. Traveling, making connections, meeting new people, cultures, experiencing new shit, having new experiences. I already said that. But I'm just saying, like, that's not just getting fucking exploited all day, every fucking day, just so that you can afford to reproduce yourself day to day, so that you can continue getting exploited. Like, ain't this a bitch? Like, man, there's more to life than that. Ask every billionaire. They know there's more to life than that. They're not being exploited by anyone. They the ones exploiting. Man by man. I don't know why I just did that. I already rolled the blunt. Oh my God. Stop licking the wall! Where are you at? I can hear her licking the wall. Where are you at, Petunia? No. Oh my fucking God. That's so annoying. Listen to that sandpaper ass tongue of hers constantly lapping up against the wall. All rhythmic and shit. That shit's annoying as fuck. And it's like, what are you putting on your tongue by constantly licking the wall, bro? You don't know what's on that wall? The fuck? I would have cats that lick walls. What the fuck? Come to Rhode Island. I'll smoke you out. Bro, I'm in motherfucking Ohio. Rhode Island is forever away. Let me see how long it takes to get to Rhode Island. How long does it take to get to Rhode Island? Not videos, just all. I mean, it said it'd take me about 12 hours to get there from here. That's not... Man, that's like going to Cleveland 3 times. Because it takes like 3 hours to get to Cleveland from where I'm at. And you 4 times the distance. What the fuck is in Rhode Island? You know what I mean? Small ass state. The fuck? Don't get me wrong, man. Ohio is kind of busted. Especially where I'm at. Like, that's why every time I want to have a good time, I go to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Cincinnati, Detroit. You know what I mean? But I do not stay here. Chicago. I might go to Chicago. But Dayton, Ohio, this old busted ass city, ain't shit here. You know what I mean? We the Florida of the Midwest. Okay? Nigga said, come, nigga, you come. We can meet halfway. You know what I'm saying? Damn, I've been streaming for damn near 3 hours. You don't even, damn, bro. What I started at noon? Yeah, bro. They love you here. I will beat you in a blunt smoking contest. I doubt it. I doubt it, bro. This is all I do all day. All day. Okay? That shit, B. I'm an intellectual stoner. You know what I'm saying? I spend my time researching and reading. I'm not your typical stoner that like watches stoner movies and has like fucking psychedelic pictures on the wall and figurines that he got from the gas station. That's not me. You know what I mean? I don't really fit. Bro, I thought I saw a person standing there. I'm tripping. Anyway. What the fuck? Like, look at. Hold up. I never did show y'all my store. I mean, my Dave Murphy shop on Fourth Wall. Like, look at this shit. Hold on. These are my notes. Look, got the failed prophecies and shit. Another failed prophecy, Jeremiah 33:15. Jesus didn't do that. Here's all the verses showing that women are less valuable than men. Not all of them, but just some of the ones I've come across. These are the slave verses. You know what I mean? And then here's some verses just showing how Christians are hypocrites. See how I got it like, here's Christians do this, but Jesus said this. Some Christians are rich, but Jesus said, you know, many Christians are judgmental, but Jesus said, do not judge. Yeah, bruh. All kind of shit. And it's like my next page, which I was about to start, but and this was like notes on a book I was reading. Atheism in the Case Against Christ. So I was trying to do like a book report on that book. So yeah, man. That's the type of shit I be doing in my free time. Biblical shit. And I don't even believe in it. Ain't that a bitch? How many Christians you know are doing that right now? Dedicating this much effort into their fucking belief system. I know more probably about Christianity as an atheist than I know about secular humanist as humanism as an atheist. But secular humanism is almost intuitive, you know. Logic, the scientific method, okay, empiricism, all right. Sort of intuitive. Just all the ways in which we can establish something's ontological framework or whatever, something's ontology, without appealing to the supernatural. All right, y'all, man. This has been fun. H.P. Lovecraft. I haven't read anything by that person. It Begins Again. Who is It Begins Again? Are you a big content creator? You have a check mark. What do you think about Crip, Mac, and Adam pimping out his wife? I don't know any about these people. But they shouldn't do that. Just categorically against pimping out your wife. Okay. Otherwise, why the fuck marry her? An open mind is golden. I agree. How do we send you a book? That's a good question. You might have to just send it to my house and shit. I don't have like a P.O. box or nothing. So I had to use like my actual address. And just hope you don't make the 12-hour drive from fucking bumfuck nowhere, Rhode Island to where I'm at in Dayton. And try to kill a nigga. Son's gonna send me fucking anthrax in the mail. Talking about, yeah, he talked all that shit about my Jesus. Suck on that, bitch. I'm just fucking with you, bro. I'm just fucking with you. Ryan says, I'm in bumfuck nowhere, PA. I mean, Dayton ain't really bumfuck nowhere. We're like one of the 7 largest cities in Ohio, but we're number 7. Okay. We're not up there with like Cleveland, Cincinnati, Youngstown, Akron, Columbus, Canton. Like all them cities are much bigger. I legit live in the woods. I would be on board with that, but I don't like spiders. I don't really like any bugs, but spiders I can't do. Like I can't do spiders. I can't. Not all spiders. Some spiders I can do, but most spiders I cannot. Like if we in the woods, shit, I can't do none of them spiders. I also don't do praying mantises. Oh, wow, those are so fucking gross. That's how you know there ain't no God. No God would create praying mantises. He'll be like, oh hell nah, let's try again. Petunia, what are you doing? You just gonna walk in front of the camera? You you just gonna stand there? You ain't gonna move? You just have to do this right now? Come on, bruh. Like what? What are you? Rude. You're rude. These cats ain't got no home training, man. That's the mom. That's Petunia. She the mom of Lucifer, Louie, and Rosie. And she the thinnest one. Them other three I just mentioned are big as fuck. Them motherfuckers look like dogs. While here she is, compared to them, she look like a fucking kitten or some shit. Ain't that right, Petunia? Petunia, say something to the people. Why are you so concerned with the... Why are you doing that? Ah, cornhole. Look at yourself. How are you not embarrassed? I don't know what's going on. Look at her butt. Cornhole. Don't eat the chocolate chip cookies. What you see? You see something out back? Hold on, let's look outside. Let me switch the thing around. Oh shit, it's too close. I'm not putting this because y'all wild out earlier. Now it's some bullshit. Hell no, you ain't going out there. Hell no. Petunia, what you doing? Get you some Dave Murphy merch, y'all. I'm broke. I'm po. Okay. Nah, you ain't gotta give me no money. But do check out the shirts though, y'all. Like I got some dope shit, and I'm about to be working on some more designs. So, I even got a shirt that just say the cats' names on it. It just got one that say Donnie, Louie, Rosie, and Petunia. That's it. I feel like no one will get what that means. It'll be like an inside joke. It's like people be like, who are those people? Like they're not people, first of all. They're cats. And it's like, oh, those are your cats? No, they're not. They're the cats of this guy that I follow on YouTube. Who you follow on YouTube? You wouldn't know him. You know what I'm saying? I almost talked myself out of making the shirt. No, I'm just kidding. I already made it. but I haven't bought one yet. But I plan on buying it just because I want to have it. Anyway, I'm about to get off here because I got shit to do. So I'm gonna get off here. But thanks, man. I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all subscribing to whomever did. Christ is not king. He's a cunt. You spelled cunt wrong. And thanks for watching. You know what I mean? And again, like and subscribe. I'm just playing. I just wanted to say that typical fucking shit. Like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell and all that bullshit. You ain't gotta do that shit. Everybody here probably already subscribed anyway. So, and 101 of you motherfuckers liked it. So I appreciate that. We did have a different time here today. We had a little reading in. We had a little back and forth. I got to espouse some of my ideology and beliefs. Got to show y'all some designs that I'm working on for the clothing, for the merch store. We went over some books that I've read and how I come across those books. So yeah, this was fun, But I am going to go. So I gotta make me some more coffee. Anywho, I don't really know how to say goodbye. I just hit y'all with the and get the fuck out of here. All right, man, I'm out. Fuck. Shit. What the hell, dog? I gotta fucking go.